Yeah, but part of it is so there's like an insane aspect of this that I think I didn't even know going into this that we would actually get here, but I'm so glad we did. You are literally per hour like one of the hardest working people on the platform consistently. If you just like took a day off to go like be you, and then you could come back and talk about that, what are the implications for that of your stream? Hello.
Hey there.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, we did it. That was easy.
Yeah.
Now are we going to do camera? Is that going to be a thing?
We can.
Okay. Let's do that too. They're going to make it more complicated. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now give me a second. Wait, that's not working. Do you need to see me also? Well, yeah, that'd be fine. Let's see.
It doesn't have to if yours is used on your broadcasting
That's what I'm
software.
trying to figure out, but I think I'm good. I did it. Okay. I'm amazing. All right. Thank you so much for coming. I've actually wanted to talk to you for a long time.
Yeah.
I sent you an email some time ago because you actually show up a lot in, like, I'm looking for people on the platform that actually work hard. And you actually show up as like one of those like very few people. And it's even better because there's a lot of misconceptions around like I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of hours you put in, just the insane work ethic you have. So I'm really excited to talk about that today, actually, among other things. I'm still setting up here. Okay. I also got we put in a lot of work for the data today, so I think you will be pretty impressed. Let's see. How do I?
Chat saying I'm loud.
Okay. That's okay. We can fix all that. So we have this. Let's see. That's not right. Just a sec. So yeah, thank you for coming on. Like, how did, like, I guess like a good way to like start is like, how did you get, so what I'll do is I have like all this stuff we can talk about for like numbers and stuff. We'll probably get into that in a minute as I fix this. I think everything is good. But like, how did you like start on the platform? I don't even know like your history.
Oh, well, in 2016, I started in the creative department when that was a thing, doing costume design and things. But lately, I guess they don't do that anymore. Like as of 2017, they kind of like push creative away. So I just moved towards IRL. Yeah. And then they broke up IRL. So now I'm just in limbo. But yeah, I started doing costume design and I played Overwatch a lot when that was really popular. But since then, I've kind of just been consistent more and more until it became a full-time job. Got partnered like 4 months in because of the loophole with creative. They were trying to push it, so you only needed 100 concurrent viewers instead of 500 for gaming.
Oh, what year was this?
2016.
Okay, I got partnered in 2012, which feels like an age ago, and that was 400 concurrents. And Nightblue and Trick2G had to raid me every single day to get those numbers. But they didn't count. It wasn't like real concurrents. I got like spam hosted. So they finally partnered me after like I got spam hosted. I had like apparently 400 concurrents long enough.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really hard. It was like like these days like partnership's a lot more subjective. Kind of depends on like relationships or just like if you're doing something cool, which is probably how it should be. Like a hard viewer limit was kind of always a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got in through creative, and then like what made you? Because so just like for perspective and like a little bit on this. Have you watched my video that is at least somewhat about you? It's called About the Truth About Women on Twitch.
I don't know if I've watched that one. I did watch the one where you were talking about like in 2020 they have to change to have viewers. The most recent one. I don't know if it is the most recent. But yeah. No, I didn't watch the women one.
So that that video is one of the most important things that I've done on Twitch, because the perception on Twitch, and this might be a good way to start, is that women have it easier on the platform. That basically it's easier to be a woman on the platform. But if you look at any metric, that is absolutely the opposite. It is insanely difficult to be a woman on the platform. Not even just from like all the perceptions that like growth is easier, or that like they get more follows or anything like that. That's all untrue. If you look at if you look at the vast majority of people that are on the top, it's all men. And all the growth metrics favor men, and that's before the toxicity. Which is insane. So I
that's very true. It is.
Yeah. And so we took we did a study where we took the top like words that are said in a chat for women versus the top words that are said for men, and it's just a totally different game. It's like totally insane how different it is.
Yeah, no, definitely is, because I know from what I've observed, men get some toxicity, but not in the same way women do. With men, it's more like chicken legs, or like, like stupid, zero IQ. And for women, it's like, I want to do all these things to you or kill you. It's like, and then if you don't respond to them, then they start calling you names because they didn't get their attention.
Yep. Yeah. It's
like
ridiculous.
Oh my God. Stop.
Like, I think I'm gonna try to pull it up. Let me see. Because it is actually insane. I didn't know you. This video I actually think has you on the thumbnail. Actually,
does it?
Yeah, I think it does. Where is this chat? Truth. There it is. Yeah, it does. Okay, so the top most said word. I think this is a couple years ago, but it will give you a good idea. So the top most spoken words in a male's chat, right? Franker Z, so this is definitely a little while ago. Chris, Monster, Answer, Man, Bro, Points, Winner, Star. Okay, now girl chat, ready? Bitch, tits, show, cosplay, cute, beautiful, fat, hair, marry, love.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true, though. Actually true. And how tall are you and how old are you?
Yeah.
Those are also very common.
It's like, so it's ridiculously hard by every metric to like, and just the whole stereotype and perception, like, and like, I'm really conscious of this, and I have been since my history is I used to run esports teams. And I started an all girls team called CLG Red with a girl named Steph, Miss Harvey. It's actually her team. And it used to be E United, and we converted it over to CLG with my business partner George. And it was, and like I learned, like I had no idea. I would play like a CS:GO game with them, and you couldn't be on comms, like a single game, and it's like immediately they're like, so there's somebody on comms that's like, go to the kitchen or whatever they say, right? It's just a totally different dynamic. So clearing up this perception is like one of the reasons why I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's an issue for sure, but I don't really know what we can do about it, right? It's like, what are you going to do? You can't ban all of them because they'll just make new accounts because those types of people have no life. So
awareness
it doesn't really work.
Awareness is really good. That's how you get started. I think that's one of the only things you can do. It's like the percentage of women represented in gaming and esports is so low that the only thing we can do is talk about it. So like people can have mature conversations around the issue. And I think then can remedy it. You can't stop the 12-year-olds. Like that's just going to be a thing. Yeah. But it's like par for the course, I think, especially on Twitch. The interesting thing I've thought about a lot actually is like what happens when everybody ages up.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they just get a new audience or new streamers depending on who ages.
I think
first.
the culture changes too. So I think like over the course of like 5 years, this platform will look different because Facebook looks different than it did 4 years ago, right? Facebook is way more millennial back then, and now it's actually circling back. But like Twitch right now is like a haven for much younger audiences, but I don't know if that'll always be true.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. Because, like, yeah, there are people who are on it who are kids who will age up, but then they might, get life, go to college, get work, get in a relationship, start families. So I think that it's always going to be, like, just new people coming in and then older people leaving as they get busy with life.
Yeah, and to
So
some extent,
know.
that's gaming in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, when did you start noticing that like what you were doing was working on Twitch and like you wanted to go full time? Like, how did that work?
Well, I guess about a year in, it was like really obvious, but within probably a little less than a year, maybe 8 months, and it started being like, okay, I can see this becoming a thing. You know, I could see this becoming a full-time job, because currently at the time I was running a company for children's parties and doing like corporate events, hospital visits, like Princess Heroes, that kind of thing. So I was already used to the work ethic. And then I just
cool.
decided to still own that, still manage that, but then like get people to do the bookings and get other employees to run the thing. And then after Twitch looked like it was really taking off and could potentially make more money and allow me to like do something I like also, because I really like the princess thing, but streaming was also really cool because it allowed me to connect to people in a way where I don't have to like be super good at socializing, because I'm really awkward like I would in a normal workplace, you know, where you have to smooch up to like the boss or like the networking and all that stuff. So I'm like, this is fun though. I do enjoy creating costumes at the time like I was, and playing games that I have an interest in, and getting to chat with people and work on my own skills and kind of feel connected, because I did go to conventions still.
Yeah.
So kind of tied into the whole meeting of people that come into your stream and getting to know them and seeing them at conventions. And it just kind of grew from there. And I just started putting content on YouTube everywhere, and Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and it just kept growing all together until recently. But it was growing, and it was great, and it was really fulfilling too, because it was something I enjoyed that was working.
We're gonna 100% talk about that. Don't worry.
Yeah. So that's pretty much just how it's been. I just kept going with it and making it my full-time job, and it's been great so far.
How did you figure out how to market on other platforms? Because I feel like that's a leap that a lot of broadcasters never make, but you have been really prolific on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well. Actually, YouTube is one of your way more successful platforms. So like, what was your thinking on that? Like, how did you make that transition when I see so many like I am struggling on YouTube all the time telling broadcasters like Twitch is not a discovery platform. You cannot grow here.
Yeah.
Go on the like, how did you figure that out?
Well, I guess like I was in the cosplay community already online with Instagram. And so I already had an Instagram page. I already had like a Facebook cosplay page. And I already had like Twitter. I didn't use it that much until I started streaming. But I already knew about those things and how other people were going on them. So I guess I was already like in the Instagram kind of mindset before I started streaming. I think that's why I was able to do it. But a lot of people who start streaming, they may not have those other platforms built up yet. So it's a little bit more of a challenge for them to figure it out, and a little bit more of a roadblock to grow. And I think that's probably why they get discouraged too, because they see other people with already these followers, because Instagram is older, you know.
Yeah.
And it already is such a closing off type of platform that it's really hard to grow from scratch, and it's probably very intimidating to people, and they rather just stream, you know. So for me, I was lucky. I already had an Instagram and got the ball rolling.
Was your Instagram popular when you before you started streaming?
Not really, but it was 2016, so it was still at a time where you can grow on Instagram relatively easy for like low effort, just as long as you post consistently. I think I was maybe at like 5,000 or less followers actually when I started streaming
in 2016. Yeah, that's still like that's still a time when Instagram like you could grow like quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
And like what were some of the like sort of what, like, I guess my question in a roundabout way is kind of weird, because it's like, how were you not lazy? But it's like because there are so many broadcasters that just want to hit like start OBS and then they go, but like you're putting in like an easy 8 hours of work on the live show, doing reruns, and then offline you're doing social. And it's like, what was the drive there? Like what made you different in that way? Like that's like I'm always trying to figure out, why do people put in the work at that level versus like so many other people that don't? Yeah.
Well, I think it's because I already was used to that level of input from creating my business. Because I was actually, even before I started my character company, I was working for others. And then I actually had a different character company that I co-founded with someone. And for that one, I was making the dresses during the weekday from scratch. So I was working already like 10 to 12 hours a day during the weekday. And then on the weekends, I would just chain parties and events back to back and drive all around for hours. So I think I was just lucky because I already had that mindset. I wasn't coming from a like, well, I have no job. I might as well do something with my life.
Yeah.
Streaming. I'm already playing video games. And so I think that's why that I was able to just jump right into the streaming at like full force and maintain the work ethic because it was something I was already used to. So for me, if I wasn't maintaining that same level of output, I couldn't really justify it to myself as becoming my new full-time job because currently my company was my full-time job. And so it was kind of like I wouldn't know what else to do. It would feel like I was being unproductive. So I just went right into it, you know? Is what else are you going to do? It's what I've been doing for years already.
That's so cool. So did you do anything before you were an entrepreneur?
No, because I started that right out of high school, basically, because I was already doing parties for other people as an employee in high school. So right afterwards, I started like thinking of like how I can make my own because I saw like the opportunity there and how much more money you could be making if you got like the booking deposit plus the performers pay. And then you can also like decide which clients to go to. I was already thinking about like starting my own.
Yeah.
But when I was in high school, I didn't have the funds to, so I had to save up for a while first.
I see. How do you like organize your time with like the schedule? I think you like, so I have, I work 2 full-time jobs and I do this, but I also, run a talent agency or co-run a talent agency. And it's pretty hard. And I feel like if I slightly deviate a lot of the time, I just lose everything, right? Like how do you keep a schedule like this?
Oh God, I don't even know if you can call what I have a schedule. Like I feel like I'm just struggling constantly, like, you know, to like get everything organized. And it's really hard to stay consistent. I do get everything done, but it's never like in a time efficient way like I'd want to. I just don't sleep. I end up getting like 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night on average, which is really unhealthy. But, you know, I just don't know what else to do. I can't make the day last longer.
Well, walk me through what's going on. So, like, talk to me about like how your stream has progressed, and like let's get into it. Like, let's figure out what's going on. Like where were you at? Like, where do you feel like you're at now? Walk me through the whole thing.
Right now, I mostly feel like I'm frustrated and lost and confused. But so basically, I guess the past few weeks, like towards the end of October, right before BlizzCon, I started noticing it slowing down. But it wasn't until after BlizzCon that I really noticed an impact. Like I got the flu right afterwards. And so I was kind of like in and out of my stream. And I figured, well, maybe they just don't like watching me because I'm sick. But then I looked at my analytics and I'm like, oh, no, this is actually something has changed drastically. And it's like my viewer count, I guess, used to be easily like 2,200 to 2,500, you know, like on average. And right now, I think it's actually like 1,000 less. Like just suddenly within like a month or two, you know, like just I don't know really why, but that's the that's the current state of things. And based on the analytics, it's a little bit confusing. So some of them are like, since I still put out so many hours of streaming and so much content everywhere else, and I have so many followers, but it feels a little bit different, I guess, even though I'm doing the same thing that I was doing. So it's kind of just confusing right now.
Okay. As far as growth on other platforms, how's that going? That's actually a question I didn't ask you before.
That has slowed a little bit because of all the shadow bans I've been having. And that is another type of issue because Instagram, earlier this year, they started cracking down on hot girls, memes, and political issues, like, you know, content that caters to those things. And basically for the past 6 months, I've been in a straight shadow ban. So what that means is that my posts don't usually get on the explore page.
Do you know this site?
My followers don't see them. Which one?
I just linked it to you. So this website should always tell you if you're going to be shadow banned by a post or not. So like this is usually if you're shadow banned, it's because of the hashtags you're using. And,
it's not that.
Oh,
I don't use hashtags.
Oh, so is Instagram actually the AI is actually flagging your content and then?
Yep. It's for a lot of girls. It's not just me.
Are you sure that the reason that you're not getting flagged is because the reason you're not getting on Explore page is because of hashtags? Because that's usually how it works. Like I would actually use at least 3 to 5 hashtags because I'm seeing. So check this out, okay? On your last post, you actually got onto Explore on all 3 of those keywords.
It seems to be random. So what I've noticed is that the hashtags, in my experience of posts, like don't necessarily determine whether I'll hit Explore page or not. Because sometimes if I do a hashtag and I go to it, and I won't be on that hashtag. So it just depends really on the post. I'm not really sure what triggers it in their algorithm precisely. They'll never say anything about it. I've already tried contacting Instagram. They really have no clarity.
No, they don't. Yeah, a lot of them don't know themselves. But the way that I understand the it to work is if you go to Instagram.com and you search like a random like hashtag Twitch, right? And then you look at the posts, you're gonna have a discovery queue of 9 basically 9 what do they call it, grid, like a grid of 9 potential people that can be featured on the discovery in the home. And this is informed by hashtags and to some extent ML. But like if they don't have hashtags, they are not going to appear here. So I would actually use hashtags for your posts. And then
is there like a number still? There used to be like a limit on the number, but
it used to be really a lot of people can post like 30 hashtags, but right now I would use 3 to 5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, because what I've noticed for me personally is that I'm big enough I used to do 30K like Explore views without hashtags. So my issue mainly comes from like mass reporting and them deleting stuff.
So one thing that can happen that I think is a recent thing on Instagram is Instagram right now. One way that it does work is, how do I explain this? If you post a picture of a cat, Instagram knows that's a cat. The ML knows. It automatically knows, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so what that means is it can actually flag different kinds of images, and it can make those appear more or less in the search results as a result. Does that make sense? Sorry, I'm not explaining this very well. So what that actually means, that actually could support your theory that, which I don't know for sure, that your kind of content is getting pushed down. And if there is a reason,
I think they made an announcement. They announced the changes, earlier this year, like content that would be like that. And it's happened to a lot of other like cosplay girls or just like model-y type girls on Instagram.
Okay, then
it like is a thing.
Then that's a real thing. And so is that happening on any other platform?
A little bit on Twitter lately, but Twitter seems mostly about like Instagram does this too. They're both kind of doing this. They really are trying to like prohibit people from marketing on those, and they don't like it when you link things, like link off-site links such as like Patreon or whatever. But yeah, for Instagram, that they made that announcement at the end of April. So that's ironically, or I guess appropriately enough, that has been when I got shadow banned, and it's just been hell since. That's when they changed it.
Oh, okay. So now, right now, it's just random which one of your posts works and which one of them doesn't.
Yeah, like okay. I'm sure it's not random, but they won't tell you like what exactly triggers.
I honestly doubt they know.
Not.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, that Instagram then, that's probably just a legit like platform issue. Like the only solution there is to actually change content.
Yeah, like a lot of girls are actually like so mad about it. They're like starting to leave Instagram. Like, I'm only going to be posting on Twitter. And I think that's a mistake because it's like Instagram is still such a huge platform with so much potential growth because not everyone is having this problem. And you have a follower base already. Like, why would you just leave that? It's like you own a billboard that you don't have to pay for. And you're just like, no, I'm not going to advertise on there anymore.
Yep.
It's like, why? Why would you do that? Well,
it's also that the calls to action on Instagram are so insanely strong, right? If you're actually selling any kind of products or services, like they're way, way stronger than other platforms right now. Like I think the only other platform that has as good convergence on sales is LinkedIn. And that's not like that's not a platform I would recommend for you to use necessarily, right? Like maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that. I have no idea. Yeah, like you might be surprised. Like I think that LinkedIn content is moving more in the direction of like sort of social media, but I still don't think it's like quite. I mean, I basically call for ease of use. I call what you do like the girlfriend experience. I think that's like a really good way to put it. You can correct me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong. Like, I think that's. I know that like to me, there's a really big difference, right? Like, because I think for the community that you're building, they like, and I say that like really deliberately, right? The community that you're building, the people that will stick with you and will support you for long periods of time, those are people that know you on a personal level and like want a friend in a nice girl that talks to them. Because I've watched your streams and like I see how you interact with your chat. You see people that know you that come back. Like the kind of focus of the talk later on like once we break down like what's going on Twitch, the focus of the talk like I think is about fostering and building that community aspect. I think that is like critical for success. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because like I don't and I'm just gonna like, I know you're very tough because you like can survive on Twitch. So I'm just gonna like say stuff and you know, you can call me out on anything that I say. But I think like as long as you like, there's a certain percentage of people that are hog squeezers, okay, and we know that, all right. but the fact of the matter is that those people are just not going to be I think valuable supporters, right? Like the people that are going to be good are going to be the people that decide to associate with you because you are like a positive force in their life.
Yeah, no, definitely. And don't be afraid to be super blunt. Like, I don't mind. It makes things quicker. It's easier. It's fine.
Okay, I will. I've been a little bit hesitant, so I will turn it up. The funniest thing was I was laying in bed with my girlfriend when I first got your message, and it was like a couple days ago, and I look at the top of my Twitter and it says Amouranth has sent you a photo. Right, like, I'm like, and my girlfriend's like question mark, and I'm like, this is probably in context in some way. So I was like, Monka W, dude. It ended up being her analytics, okay, which is my only turn on is analytics, by the way. So
are you in the doghouse?
No, I'm not at all. She's really like happy I'm doing this because this is like supporting like women in gaming and all that shit. Like this is really good.
Yeah.
And I've actually been trying to do that for a long time. Okay, can we do some stats?
Yeah, go for it.
Woo! Okay. All right. Can you see my stream right now?
I can, yes.
Okay, I'm going to pull up a bunch of stuff. It's going to be real neat. So okay, let's talk about the theory first, okay? So the theory is that over time your viewership's been declining, and I think you've seen on other platforms it's because what Instagram and Twitter are doing is they are trying to find ways for advertisers to advertise with them. And there's a certain bar for advertisers who just do not want sexualized content on their, and so that lowers CPM. And so Instagram and Twitter's like temporary answer is to push that stuff down in the algorithm so they can justify those CPMs. So that is a shit answer because the real answer is you want to do intelligent ML like YouTube does, for example, so you can put ads in categories. But it's really only Google that has that kind of sophistication in terms of their advertising.
Yeah.
So the end result is that you're probably fucked on Instagram and Twitter as long as they continue to do that until they develop those systems, which I don't anticipate is like, yeah. But let's talk about Twitch. So Twitch has no such system. Okay. So Twitch doesn't. So Twitch does like as of the last like 2 or 3 months has like a recommendation system, and the way it works is it takes an amalgamation. So if you have 3 streams, like in a triangle, if a viewer watches 2 of those streams, then they're recommended the 3rd stream if there's an overlapping viewership in that 3rd stream. So if like 20% of my people watch me, 20% of my people watch you, and then in a separate category, 20% watch me and you, and let's say just like a random streamer, like I don't know who, like XQC, it will recommend XQC to that initial 20%. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So recommendations are effectively useless for discovery and have no bearing basically on your metrics. So like with your stats right now, the ones that you showed me, you're getting about 400 views from recommended streams versus 70,000 uniques that you do on any given day, right? So you could my point is you can effectively ignore Twitch's recommendations or anything that they're doing going forward. And the reason that's important is because all that matters, we need Notepad. I'm really good with Notepad because I have a really bad short-term memory, so I use Notepad for everything. All that we really are focusing on here, number one is category, okay? And number two is you as a creator. So let's talk about category first and what's going on with just chatting, okay? So in the last 90 days, which is the numbers that we ran for your, basically like your brand, did like a whole brand analysis for 90 days. The average amount of channels on just chatting went from 1340 to 1480, which is a 10.4% increase, okay? But the viewer to stream ratio went from 69 to 62, which is a 10.4% decrease. So here's what happened. Effectively, there are more streamers and there are less viewers to watch them.
Interesting.
So just chatting as a category is crunching. And what's happening is that for every viewer that you have in just chatting, you have to work harder to get that viewer. So across the platform right now, just chatting is one of the only categories that's actually growing over the last 2 quarters. It's basically been growing. So Twitch has been declining in terms of overall viewership in Q1 and Q2 of 2019, which it never did before. Then in Q3, it's still kind of declining, but just chatting was propping up a lot of the growth in Q2 and now is starting to be crunched as well. The reason that's important is to understand that as far as the category right now, the category is working against you for discovery.
Yeah.
Does all that make sense so far?
And would that be affected by the amount of hours that I've streamed in just chatting as my channel history? Or like, is it not like that?
What do you mean?
Because I mostly have been in just chatting like most of my streaming career. Would that like take would it analyze my channel and see that and push me less, or is that not a thing?
We had to run your data without reruns. So this is just, well, I did both, but it's not productive to do reruns because it doesn't give a good picture of like what your success metrics actually look like. So for just chatting, it wouldn't matter the amount of hours you've put into it because the only way to get discovered, like let's talk about discovery for a second, right? Like let's talk about how do people find streams, right? It's a super easy conversation. The answer is they go to the browse directory and then they click on it based on the number of viewers. And then obviously so if I go to twitch.tv/whatever and I hit browse and then I go to just chatting, okay. This is literally discovery on the platform. There's nothing else to it. So from here, my first choice is this dude. If I'm not interested in this, I'll keep going through thumbnails and looking at titles until I see something that I'm interested in. You know, I stop on Hot Chubby or whatever. So that's literally discovery. Like we're done with the conversation. There is no intelligent ML driving people to the streams. There's nothing. So a 10% crunch in a category, it's really a 20% crunch, right? Because it's 10% up and 10% down. So it's double. That's significant because it means that 1 out of every 5 viewers that would have otherwise discovered you is not doing that anymore. Native to the platform.
Right.
And that's nothing to do with your content. That's nothing to do with you. That's literally just because of Twitch. So running a successful stream in 2019 highly depends on calls to action from third-party platforms. You have to derive viewers from other places that are not Twitch.
Right.
And if you don't do that, you will gradually crunch and decline. Until you sort of like fade out of existence, because the way that live streaming works is you need to constantly replenish, and I have some cool graphs that I can show you in a little bit to show this, but you have to constantly replenish your audience, and it has to continuously go up, or eventually people will burn out, right? Like the audience that I have right now. So I've been streaming since 2012, and almost none of the original audience that was there in 2012 is there today, because people just burn out. They don't watch Twitch anymore. They go watch other content or whatever. So that it's sort of a constantly renewing thing.
Okay. So you think that's mostly important just this year? Because I noticed I stopped, I guess, promoting my Twitch so much on my other platforms, because to me, it felt like it wasn't really doing anything most of my streaming career. Like, it's like I couldn't see like proof in the analytics that I got viewers like from Instagram or from Twitter or even from YouTube. So I kind of like stopped pushing it as much. And I like took the links off and so just to replace it with other things that I felt were more productive. Like,
I think that is
I don't know now.
So you can look at the external views that you're getting through the dashboard. Like Twitch will actually tell you that amazingly, even though their analytics are trash like normally. And I actually like so just off of we have a bot that lives in every broadcast that has 12 viewers or more. So we can look at analytics on a macro scale on Twitch that only a few other companies can do. And I can tell you that external representation is really important right now. But that is something you have to weigh against, because you are also selling products and services, which means that like for you, it's a very it is a very tough decision. Like, what do you want in the top 2 lines of your YouTube description? And it's like, do you want Twitch or do you want your Patreon? That's a really tough decision for you, right? I would probably do my Patreon, but I would still link Twitch as prominently as possible.
Yeah.
Because I still think driving YouTubers to an actual like revenue generating, I mean, Twitch in a roundabout way is a revenue generating source, but it's not the same as like getting a monthly supporter on Patreon, which should be one of your end goals.
Yeah, but I've also like seen influencers who are essentially like Twitch only as their main platform, have a resurgence, like maybe like Dizzy or Fusely or Alinity, but I don't know how they're doing that because they have no YouTube channel that I know of that's super, super active or super big, unless I'm just not looking correctly. And like they're smaller and inactive IGs. Like, how do you think that they are regrowing suddenly or like pushing their numbers without the other platforms?
That gets into the second part, which we'll talk about, which is you as a creator. Okay, so ready for this? Here we go. All right, so initially, I saw something super interesting in this graph, because it looked so this graph is September 7th to October 7th. Okay. No. Is this the right graph? Chat? Where is it? Okay. August 12th to September 16th. I did it. Okay. It says it right there. That's the other graph. Okay. Not important right now. Moving along. So basically I wanted to look back far enough to find out where the drop was. Okay. Here you have like 1,800, 1,600, 1,500, 700-ish viewers. And then there's like a short decline through August. September goes up. And then there's a peak here. Something happens on the 9th of September. You're like at 1,800. And then from the 9th of September to the 16th of September,
this was around my suspension.
Okay. There's a significant decline that arguably like the broadcast hasn't recovered from. So then if you look at the stats here, this is from the 16th of September to the 14th of October. So that's the month after this. And you're hovering around like 1 to 1.5. Then the month after that, which is to recent, is about the same. So this is, I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. But let me show you something that I think would be really interesting. And to do that, I need to go check my Discord to get these images. So give me 1 second, because I think this will explain it pretty well. These are the. All right. So let me. I guess like maybe the first thing I could do is tell you the argument that I'm going to make. Okay. I don't think that there is anything wrong with Twitch or what's going on. I think this is a result of you as a creator, and I'm gonna explain why and what to do. And this is a really cool conversation to have because I've never had this conversation before, but this is a huge problem that I'm having at Nerd Fusion with older creators is because we have a lot of creators like Dan's Gaming or Giant Waffle, people like that. So these people have been streaming for like 4 or 5 years, right?
Right.
And the question really is like, how do you keep relevance in the long cycle of something on Twitch like that? And here's what happens to these content creators, right? They do something that makes them very successful, and they understand that there's a formula to that success. And then they continually do that, and they continue to find that success, but that success gradually diminishes because the market is changing around them doing that. And the market requires different like inputs and has different interests as time goes on. So that also corresponds with this. So if I'm going to pull this up, it'll take a second on your screen. But if you look at what this graph shows is in January of 2018, right? You had an absurd amount of hours streamed.
Right.
Okay. Compared to the hours that you have streamed as of 2019. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is, like in the end of 2018, summer of 2018, you were doing really well. And the behaviors that you were doing in the summer of 2000.
I think that's December, the really high one.
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is like in the summer of summer of 2019, excuse me, you're doing really well.
So this
last summer, whatever summer? Last summer,
okay.
yeah, about 3 months ago, right? You're hitting like 2K pretty consistently.
Yeah, I mean it's still lower than 18, but it was better than now. Yeah, it was. It was what I would consider acceptable, and then now I'm like, what happened?
So if you look at the hours streamed, right? And so the first graph here is the total hours streamed and the trajectory. The second graph here is the trend of your growth, right? And so weirdly, it's like, oh wait, I had my highest hours streamed, but I also had my lowest growth in the same amount of time. But here's or lowest average viewers. Here's how it works, though, right? Viewers need multiple impressions to get introduced to your stream. So like a viewer comes there and hears about you. Oh, it's Amouranth. Okay, well, okay, like I'll go check that out again. Maybe I'll toss a follow, go check again. And to become a regular viewer takes months and months and months. So the equity that you put into your stream at this time then reflects in an upward trajectory over the course of the next few months. Does that make sense? Then, as the stream hours decrease, the opposite is true. So but there's another thing going on here, okay? And that's that, and this is the part that the X factor that I don't know, because I'm just not you, but this is like something that we can talk about. What happened in this 2018 to 2019 period, the type of content that you were doing, one of two things: either worked better than what you're doing right now, or number two, more likely, the market has changed so that what you are doing right now is not received as well. The audience is not as interested. That's the bottom line. So
I've basically been doing the same things mostly. I guess last year there might have been like a little more IRL, but I brought back IRL kind of recently. And before BlizzCon, I noticed I was easily getting like 3 to 4K in IRL. But I just did a test just to see like what would happen, and I did IRL again. I think on Friday when the Pokemon came out, because I went to the mall to grab the game, and I couldn't get past 2K.
But you did do better than your normal streams?
Maybe by a few hundred, but nothing like compared to what it was a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So here's what I think I think we can do. So I have like thought about this a lot, and like there are a couple of things going on. So first of all, your live views are like declining, but your VOD views in terms of your video are really high in terms of your video for a broadcaster.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. I think they are like, what's weird is like, I guess they are down a little bit from what they used to be, like say in 2018, just because they were like extremely high then, but they still are comparable to be around the same as people who have like 3K concurrent viewers at the moment. I'm like, that's the part that was kind of confusing me a little bit too. it's like, so people are still watching my channel in general, just not as much when I'm live. I'm not sure.
So a couple of really interesting things that we found out. So this is at least to us, like, this shows up as an abnormal amount of VOD views. This is like, in a good way. This is a lot of VOD views. So
yeah,
I actually think that if you just put these up on YouTube, like literally just syndicated the whole broadcast on a separate YouTube channel, it would do quite well. First of all, because these are indicative that people want to watch content in VOD form, right? They're showing you that. The customer is showing you that.
Yeah.
So that's one way to actually get like more discovery. But the second way and the main way, and I have some suggestions for this, is, and it's like the fundamental hardest thing, is you actually have to like sit back and do serious introspection about the kind of content you're doing right now and what is going to appeal to viewers at this time. And I don't know the answer to that, but I have a couple of suggestions. Yeah. So I think one of the things that when we were doing our like deep dive on you, one of the things I really like is on your YouTube, you have a way when you do your like dress up thing. I don't know how to
try-ons. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You do it's very personal. Like you talk to people, you kind of like give an insight into you and who you are. I think building your stream more around like experiences with you and your personality is a direction that I would start thinking about. And like can I do AMAs? Can I do things that they're like more personal? Can we go on like events together? I mean, like effectively, if I put myself in the shoes of like the average Twitch demographic, right? I think it would be really neat to have a girl that kind of like takes me along on her adventures and goes like through life with me and like is my friend and kind of like a positive, like, cause that positivity actually counts for a lot. Like if we're going to talk like real, like there's a lot of like fucking lonely people on Twitch that like have it like kind of tough, right? Like maybe their life like didn't go as well as they did. And like a big part of like why people attach to you is because they like having a positive influence in their life. They can never have that, right? Like it's just not something that it's like maybe available in their life. Like it's too difficult or whatever. And I think the sex is always going to sell straight up, but the community you're going to build is going to be based on your positivity and your personality and what makes you you.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I yeah, go ahead.
For the YouTube, before I forget, because I have short-term memory.
Sorry.
Do you suggest curated content, like edited, like highlights, or just straight VODs if I were to upload that?
So there are 5 types of content for YouTube. Okay, and ideally a creator should do all of them. Oh God, let's hope we get this right, chat. Chat might be able to help me. I haven't pulled up chat a single time so far. My mods have just been it's like an anime. It's like a Japanese anime, like Berserk or some shit. Like my mods are just like cleaving through fields of idiots. Like it's great. I love it. Okay. So the first type of Shino, do you know the 5 types of content that are available to do on YouTube? Yep. Okay. We're going to do this. Here we go. Okay. So I know the first one is, let's call it epic content. And we're going to explain all these. Legacy historic is one. Highlights is one. And then who remembers this? For people that actually listen, long form, yeah, long form is one, and then meta. Oh God, you guys are so good. Okay. All right, here we go. So when I think about YouTube, these are the 5 types of content that I think are available. And here's a challenge for you to think about. Okay, I work with a YouTuber named Jeremy. His name's Gaming Curios. He has 12 YouTube channels.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of YouTube channels.
How does he even manage that?
Editors, like, right? Team. Like, his challenge to a lot of content creators is, why do you only have one YouTube channel?
Yeah, I have 2, but I was actually thinking of doing a 3rd with highlights, but I don't know if now it's better to do the full VOD, like you said, or like just the highlights.
Your second one is ASMR?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the first type of content is called epic content. These are your 40 to 60 hour videos, like the ones that take that long to make. And it's highly produced with a theme, maybe a script, things like that. Historic content is your best moments or past that you actually are like proud of or performed well, that may have like exited people's memory. And one like really important thing about legacy and historic content, because I this is probably the one that most streamers don't take advantage of, but it's highly effective. Nobody remembers your content like you do. So for most people, this is so important what I'm about to say. For most people, your historic content will be new content. Does that make sense?
Not quite, because I'm new to the term historic content. Like, just like, do you mean like in the past of things that you've done prior? And so maybe not the most recent, but just like in your entire streaming career?
Let's say that you had an awesome clip from 2017. They got like 150,000 views. And it's just like you doing like a really funny thing or like a funny joke, and it just like took off. You can re-show that on YouTube, and you'll basically get like a 95% conversion of new. They'll never have seen it before. Like
the best of type of thing.
Yep. So historic content is like a compilation of best moments and things that have performed well.
Okay.
And then your third content is highlights. So highlights are obvious, just like moments from your stream that are good, current or past. Long form is either entire VODs or like discussions like this, right? Or like that kind of thing. And then the other one that is meta reacts. So meta reacts is like reacting to news or like drama or content, reacting to things going on. It's like present day news. So the two things that I don't see you take advantage of that I think could be really effective are meta reacts, highlights, and historic content. That's 3 things. I don't think that epic content serves you well, and for what you do, I think takes you way too damn long. And I think long form it is better. The VODs would disagree. I think that long form is like better served live. And so like the meta reacts, highlights, and historic content, those are, if you made a YouTube channel with just those 3, and it was like Amouranths, like it's you, it's you, the personality, entirely.
Do you think those all 3 can be on one channel?
Absolutely,
they don't have to be separate.
100%. Yeah. You could even put it on this channel. The only reason why I'm hesitant to do that is because this channel, at least recently, seems very, very driven towards like try-ons and like has like a specific theme. Now that's really interesting. Why in the world did this get 1 million views? What happened here?
I don't know either. YouTube has been hard for me to figure out, like, what is it? Like, I try to replicate success sometimes, and it's like, no. And then ones that I'm like, well, whatever. It goes crazy. I don't really know what happens there.
I would really think about this.
Yeah.
There has to be something that you've done differently here. Because that is insanely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. And what's crazy, like, to me, it's like I feel like I'm doing the same thing. So I'm wondering, is it like the thumbnail? Is it like something in like because all the tags are this like about the same type of things. Like I switch them a little bit just so it doesn't count as like spam. I don't want them identical for every video. And like the description's about the same. Titles are relatively similar to other ones, but it's just that one. And I think there's another one that got like 900K or something right around there.
Also, 1 million. I am so confused by this. So 8 months ago, and then 1 month before, that's fast. I have no idea why this is the case, actually. That doesn't make any sense. Are you using different search terms? Are you like for your descriptions, or what's going on here?
No. I checked the past video. I don't like write from scratch just to make sure that I'm doing similar stuff, and it doesn't make sense to me either. Like I do the same. Like I'll use some of the same tags and then maybe like switch around the words, like clothing, haul, fashion, try on, like, I mix and match, but I keep most of the same tags.
I don't know. Yeah, I truly don't know on this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back to our team and like see what it is, but I don't this is beyond my power. Like it is very weird that you get some things that are like 180 and like 200K, and then other, like there's a couple that just pop up and they're like 1 million. So,
yeah, what I have noticed though is a lot of other like swimwear try-on channels have died, and I think that might be like YouTube deciding to be tougher on like sexy content, like machine learning.
But why
YouTube?
Well, so usually if that's the case, it would push down the views, like it wouldn't push down the views like halfway. So you have a lot of these videos that are getting like 200, 300, 400K. Okay, so like you would be getting like 10 to 20K on videos that are like suppressed by the algorithm. It would be like vicious, right? Because like they wouldn't like 400K on a video. That means it's suitable for advertisers as far as YouTube is concerned.
Yeah, well, that's why I've been trying to stay away from bikinis just in case it was a thing. So I think like dresses are more safe, bodysuits are safer, things like that. But I'm still not sure what exactly makes 1 million video versus like a 200K video.
Are any of these actually demonetized, like in your actual studio?
I can go look at which ones. I know some of them do get demonetized. Let me take a look real quick, and I can give you those statistics too.
Because the way that YouTube works is there's 3 inventories, right? There's standard, expanded, and premium. And it decides, so it based on a bunch of nuts and bolts that I think nobody understands. It throws you into one of those based on what it thinks is good, but it's highly subjective, as you know. Like I had one that went out the other day, and it said it didn't like lifetime ban.
Right.
And so it just demonetized it, and then it threw it into expanded category, which is like expanded's like the Dormammu's like Shadow Realm. Like it's like the dark dimension versus like premium is like where it's gonna push up these views and stuff. Okay. Let me see.
Right.
Oh wait, I can't open that right now. Hang on. Let me put this here.
I'm sending you 2 of the screenshots just because I don't know like where the million one is in that, but hopefully you can see that's kind of small, but you should be able to zoom in.
I can. One sec. Just let me pull these up in our window. I just don't want to show stream these. Hang on. Okay. Okay.
It's cut off my tabs. It was awkward. It was an awkward article. I just realized it was on there from my brother.
No. It's not. I didn't show it on stream. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. That's I deliberately didn't show it on stream. Yeah, you're fine. Let's see. Okay, you're back. Let me pull this up. Yeah, it's fine. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Okay, this is good. So, well, I mean, it's bad, but it's good to know. So, a lot of these are getting limited monetization. So what that tells me is that, and have you submitted any of these for manual review, and then seen what happens?
Yeah, I do them all. They're all manually reviewed.
And what happens?
Some of them, as you can see, like mini dress temptation, it says was not suitable for most advertisers, confirm manual review. That's all it tells me. And so it like cuts monetization, but not like totally.
Yeah.
And then with the crop top unboxing, my editor like left in a bit of like music that flagged as copyright, so I didn't get anything from that. But a lot of times when it does go through, it'll just turn it on. So like you won't know that I had to submit a manual review in the past. It'll just say on. But most of them I have. I have submitted.
So,
I've had to.
my understanding of YouTube right now is if you submit something for manual review, it gets limited, and then it gets confirmed that it's limited. It actually drives down your search results across your entire channel. So if you get a limited video that you're pretty sure submitting for manual review is going to like keep that video flagged limited, I would not do that. Because it informs YouTube's algorithm that your content is in some way, because YouTube itself doesn't know why it's flagging you, right? It doesn't make a decision.
Oftentimes it'll be it seems to vary. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. But if I just upload the video file by itself, unlisted, without any description, no keywords, so no, it's not tagging any of those as like flagged words, it'll be automatically demonetized, and I have to submit it for review. It's like, so something in my channel has like made it be like, oh, sometimes these videos are inappropriate for all advertisers. So it'll just, the second I upload it, it'll be like, no. Or occasionally I'll upload it and it'll be fine. It'll say on. And then I'm like, okay, I'll post it tomorrow. And then I'll come back the next day. And before I've posted or written anything, it says, actually, we don't know. And it says, the demonetized, not suitable, submit for review if you want an appeal. And I'm like, what happened to make it suddenly do that? That part confuses me. But I have noticed slow in growth, though, on my channel. It's about maybe 150 to 200 sub growth. And it used to be 300 to 500 a day. I don't know if that's temporary or permanent with what you're saying, whether it's the channel being flagged and after you have not suitable content or not. I don't know if it recovers from that ever, or if it just keeps getting worse.
It does, but every demonetized video informs it learns, right? So it has your channel in and this might be another argument for, actually it is another argument for making that highlights / historic / personality type channel. Because you have effectively a blank slate and you're posting things. I think if you focus on meta reacts, highlights, and legacy content, that becomes a completely monetizable channel, and you're top of the discovery, and in a funny way that can actually help your discovery for your limited channels, if that makes sense, because you can just drive users to those directly. So I think that third YouTube is really, really critical for this reason. As far as growing in subscribers, you had a weird follower error on Twitch that I see this. This is not the first time I've seen it, but I don't understand. I've never asked anybody at Twitch about it. I probably should. But if you look at your thing by 90 days, do you know what's up with this?
They told me right after I got suspended, right, and I came back, I had maybe a 290K follower jump. And I didn't know what caused that. I thought maybe just the circulation of drama drove people to my channel. And for a while they kept it there. And then a few weeks later, sometime after TwitchCon, they removed actually more than that. They removed over 300K, even though I didn't even get that many. And they told me they were bots, someone was botting my follower account to try and get me in trouble. But I don't know why they removed more than the amount that I gained. That part is kind of weird to me too, that it dropped. And I wonder if they possibly accidentally removed real accounts with that. Yeah,
I actually think that might have been a factor too, because it corresponds to around the time that decline started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I actually noticed this too, because it should show up in the stats. Okay, you can see it over 180 days. So this number 127,000. So sometimes in a suspension, there's what's called a scrubbing error. So what happens is the Twitch robot guy, he comes in and grabs grabs your list of followers, and if it's suspended, I guess there's some error. It doesn't happen with everyone, but there's some error in the system where it can't grab your followers, and then
it's happened to me before. They've had to restore followers. In this case, though, I had more followers and they removed them.
Yeah. So did you talk to your AM about that?
Yeah, he told me that they were bots, that people were trying to. That's all he really said. There was no other clarity on the issue. He said someone was trying to like get me in trouble by botting my followers, like sending a bunch of them. But then he didn't explain why they removed more.
My question would be, how did they know
the jump?
that? How
Yeah,
did
which ones were bots?
Yeah,
that's my question too.
Yeah,
because I also noticed like, and it's interesting that you mentioned that because I felt the same way. I'm like, okay, if they removed all bots only, why is my chat suddenly so much slower? Subscribers have slowed, and my pre-stream itself has slowed. I used to get like almost 2 or above 2K on my pre-stream, you know, and now I can't even get like to 200 hardly. I'm like, what happened here?
Yes,
I don't know.
I'm a big and also that would I'm not a big like Twitch Illuminati guy, like in terms of like it's like the lizard people running the thing, but that is very suspect. That seems very odd because I think what might be going on there too is that a lot of people that like if you look at your stats on your dashboard, a huge percentage of the people that start your stream are there by notifications. So
right, and the thing is that even though it says a huge percent are there by notifications, on the other hand, people have been telling me that they don't get notifications now. So the tiny proportion that is getting notifications, no, it's worse. They said as of like the past few months, like they just don't receive any notifications. And even people who have it turned on have either like said, I'm still not receiving them, but then I have everything turned on, or I had them turned on and Twitch turned it off for me and I didn't tell them to. Like I didn't select that option.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So
it
those
just
are
turned
two
off?
things too.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
and for some people, they have said like, "Oh, I don't know why I didn't unfollow you, but I wasn't. For some reason now, I had to refollow in order to follow you again. It's like Twitch had made me unfollow you."
That's actually that's terrifying. Yeah,
it is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy, I know notifications is a bit iffy for a while. I basically switched to Discord completely for calls to action because like I basically like so. My like what I tell people is you basically can't rely on Twitch for anything.
Yeah.
Except to deliver your stream. That's the only thing they can do. They can create a homepage and then you can like people can go to twitch.tv/Amouranth and then they can expect to find you live and at least that's up. That's the only thing that Twitch will do for you. Everything else is just a bonus, right? Like if they send new notifications, if your followers actually show up, all that stuff is a bonus. Luckily, like the two things they get right is like subscriptions and they get CDN. Like you're actually their uptime is a lot. So I think it's best to run your business as if like Twitch isn't going to do you any favors. That's at least how I run it, right? Like, do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
The name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure what he does.
So Gary is like a social media like mogul. He's basically a dude who is like trying to figure out how to game social media.
Oh yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah. And he actually this kind of like to me is very telling of like what happened like with Twitch. So Gary actually started a Twitch stream.
Okay.
And this was like 6 months ago. And then he told, and this is a guy that like, this guy was on Musical.ly before like any of us were on Musical.ly. And like this guy is on every trend. He's on Alexa right now. He's on everything. He goes on Twitch and he's like, this is not a discovery platform and just stops streaming instantly.
Interesting.
Isn't it? Right? Because like that tells me like, okay, if someone like
when did
this,
he do that? What year?
It was we can look because like he has it was 2018. It was recent. Yeah.
Okay.
Is his channel Gary V? Chat? Do you guys know his channel? I think this might be his. Yeah. So So in 2019, he popped on here to like 200 viewers. He looked at the amount of hours it would take to, and he like talked about this like in a like he looked at the amount of hours that it would take to actually run like a successful show, and then he was like, "Yeah, screw this, I'm out," and peaced out. And that told me more about Twitch than anything, you know, any analytics that I've ever done. It's like a guy.
That's crazy. He just analyzed it from just a short time. I was like, no.
Yeah, because this is and this is the problem with Twitch, right? Is that like your content doesn't live.
Right.
So you have two choices. And this to me I think is the most important thing. you can take your content from your VODs and make it live somewhere else, which is YouTube. And I think that's one of the best things you can do. Otherwise, that content is literally gone forever after like a very short time of consuming it, and you get no benefit from that.
I think for partners, it's like 3 months or something.
No, but I mean, like it's really 2 days. Like how many people are going to go back and watch a VOD from 5 days ago?
I have no idea.
The answer is nobody, right? Yeah. By the way, side note, this is the number one thing in terms of my recommendations on all my notes for your brand. Okay, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
If you do this, you're going to crush it. It's going to be ridiculous. Do you see Gary right here? What this says? Text me 1212-931-5731. The way he's doing that is through a website called My Community. If you go to this website, you will not find anything. Where is this? Is it My Doc Community? I was just on here before.
I see chat talking about my reruns. It's like, well, I think people have an issue that they don't understand that I only do reruns when I'm offline, but I'm still on like 10 to 12 hours often. And so I've noticed Reddit, they're shade at that too. And they're like, oh yeah, just reruns all the time. Like, no, I could be offline entirely. I was previously using my offline time. But I do have a question. Do you think reruns hurt the channel? Because I just, for the past few days, I'm not sure. I'm just experimenting with it and haven't been running any. But do you think that ultimately they hurt the channel as far as like viewers wanting to watch you when you're live or getting confused or having like a bad experience?
So staff confirmed this, and I know this as well. You're the biggest user of reruns on the platform. So that the answer is no one knows. Because you're literally it. Like
that's why I have no one to look at. So I don't know.
So I would actually try them. So Dan's Gaming runs a Halloween show in October. And it's called like the Halloween special thing. And like that's not what it's called. But it's like what it is it's a horror month show where every day he runs 24/7 streams of present Dan playing horror games, then past Dan playing horror games. And his channel explodes, but it's the only month he does it, and it's like a special event. I actually think that it would probably be worth your time to do a whole month without reruns and see what happens. But that's how long you would need.
I've been doing it the past few days, so I can just keep it going.
Yeah, and the problem with this is that we're only going to see it reflect in the data after like 30 or even 60 days, which sucks. Because if it's actually good for your channel, then you can always bring back reruns, though.
Yeah.
I suspect that your view count will go up.
Okay. Part of me wonders, like, if they're like, Amouranth is live. Oh, but is it a rerun? And then like,
yes,
or like that kind of thing.
It's
kind of like hold on, it's kind of like a programming, where it's like, if there's a channel with the show on 24 hours, you're like, well, if these other shows are on, other channels only come on at this time slot. Let me go watch those because this channel's on for 24 hours. I don't know if that has any like weigh in on mindsets of viewers' perception, like just like saying, no, that channel is always there when I want to watch it or not.
I think it does. I think that the exclusivity, and I don't have like an immediate stats to show this, but I can tell you like in like my entire job every day is like looking at numbers, right? So I have seen this happen a lot with broadcasters where consistent reruns drive down the concurrent viewership of the channel exactly because of the mindset that you just said.
Okay.
And I think that if you didn't run reruns for 30 to 60 days, you would notice an uptick in concurrent viewer count, especially with your content, because people will feel like you're more exclusive, and that's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I would give it a shot. So there's something. So this thing, I'm going to take a couple notes. Let's see. So we have a personality-based, like, third YouTube, highlights, legacy. I'll put this on screen. Legacy. We have and Meta Reacts. I think Meta Reacts is really good too. It might take some time, by the way. Like you might initially be like, "Oh, my views are like." This is a warning. A lot of content creators get stuck on this. You change your content, and you don't see like what you're doing right now in terms of success, and you're like, this is not going to work, and you don't stick with it long enough. So my advice on this would be 100% like stick to, if you're going to do like a personality based channel, give it time, like give it like 3 to 4 months to propagate. And I think it could really impress you, but you already are a huge content creator in your own right. And you can mentally game yourself into a position where you think that you should just be doing the other stuff because it's more successful in the moment, when the upside of the other stuff you could do is way better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the second thing I would say is the reruns, and then the third thing is so take a look at this. So when you go to this website, it's just a very simple page, but what this is it Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V? Gotta find.
Oh, which girls would you best put like in the category of personality? Like, would you classify like Pokey or Fusely in that, or like who on Twitch do you think does like the personality type streaming for girls?
Pokey does it better than anybody, and I think looking at her brand is going to be really beneficial. A girl I just had on last week, Hot Chubby, is fantastic at this as well. So every show is like a pre-prepared thing. Today we're going to be cooking, or the next day we're going to be doing like an IRL thing where we go to like an escape room. And it's like, if you look at like Hot Chubby's stream, and this is, so one of the things that I do a lot, and I'm pretty sure you probably do this as well, is I will go look at content creators and I'll try to think about like what makes them successful, especially content creators that are doing what I do or doing close to it. So for you, I would look at Hot Chubby and Pokey as like really, and Hot Chubby in particular, because Hot Chubby doesn't play many games. Pokey does play games. So she depends on that content a little bit. You could transition to playing games over time. I wouldn't do it immediately. But it could be good to play games like, this is just like a long-term thought, like Minecraft or like things like that like would fit with this demographic. But Hot Chubby is your girl to look at, like a person who is running a highly personality-based stream. And like I would literally just go through the last like 30 episodes that she's had, because she has like a lot of really interesting content. Like sometimes she might be teaching, she might like do like a skit, she might do like a cooking show, she might play the piano. She might just talk and like answer questions or react to her own content. Like she has a thing where she does where Discord can make memes of her and then she reacts to her own memes. And that's like a several-hour segment. This is a fascinating case study for you. I think there's a lot to learn here. Yeah. So we can put down like looking at other personality streamers, like and also another one would be 39 Daff.
Okay.
39 Daff. She I don't like her as much for this because she is carried off of her art a little bit. Do you do like, you dance? I know, but what do you like do?
I just lately I've been playing the like Pokemon and Fortnite, and also Star Wars. I've been doing that too, but I also do art in the past, but mine isn't digital. It's harder to see because I do traditional art mostly. I mean, I have a tablet, but I'm just not like, I don't use it that much. Yeah, I do painting, and that's that one I've been having mostly troubles setting up, just from like the camera's perspective, and like how do I see chat consistently while I'm painting. It's just like the physics of it, because it's not on the screen.
So this is something to think about. Like how you could just, everything you just mentioned is just mechanics. Like they can be done with cameras or like things like that. I don't know how, but like that I think is something you can solve and would be really interesting. Like a simple way to think about this is like, okay, if I added, because this doesn't have to be like such a macro thing, like a complete change, but if I added 5 unique, not even 5, like 2 to 3 unique shows every month that are just, or once a week, right? Like one thing that I do, so like I try to have like a cool show like this that's like different for viewers, like once a week. It's just like something that they wouldn't get otherwise, right? And like my story is interesting in this sense because I lived this. I started streaming in 2012. My stream was dog shit in terms of numbers and growth or whatever. Nobody knew who I was, even though I was like featured by Riot Games. I was hosted by some of the biggest streamers on the platform because I was streaming like League of Legends, like jungle content, and just nobody cared.
Right.
So that didn't change until after. Oh, we're missing our camera. Oh, thanks. Okay. There you go. That didn't change until like 2018. 19 even ish. Was it 19, guys? Like, I step back and I say, okay, and this is where I think the really important stuff comes in. What am I better at on Twitch than basically anyone else can provide? And then I'm like, okay, I understand the industry and the meta and how Twitch and YouTube work better than fucking anybody on the platform. I'm gonna make a show about that. And everything went up thousands of %. I mean, it was like overnight, my concurrent viewership went from 2 to like 400, and then it's just been there. So the lesson, and every time that I see this, and we do this for people on the platform, the lesson is here's what's insane, right? And like, let me ask you a question: like, do you believe that if something you did tomorrow could get you 10K viewers on your channel? Is it theoretically possible?
A pool stream?
Yeah. No, seriously, right? Like, so if you did I actually thought that exact same thing. If you did a pool stream and you invited the top 3 broadcasters that are like other girls, you would have fucking 15K views, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's theoretically possible to do it. So all that means, this is where I get really excited. What that means is that the only thing separating you from your viewership is content.
Right.
It's literally how you run your show. So
and that's what I've been also wondering is like, is it better to have a variety like I do during the day, you know, where it's like different activities during the day, or is it better like you were suggesting to have different days of programming that are pre-prepared?
So the answer, there's a real answer and then there's a sane answer. The real answer is having prepared content that people can expect at certain times is always better. The sane answer is you're a human being that just wants to like sometimes like play Just Dance and like run chill streams. Hot Chubby's like an animal. I don't know how she does it. Like she literally, like you go on her Discord and she'll literally have like every stream. So when I scheduled with her, she scheduled me a week and a half out because that's the first time she had an opening because she knew all of her shows and what she was going to do the entire fucking time. Yeah, it was insane. I was like, for me, I prepare my show the night before, and I do run a prepared show every day, right? So it's like these are going to be the topics. This is what we're going to discuss and things like that. But like that is for sure the most optimal but that's also going to require the most investment of time,
right?
But if you have your viewers like today we're doing cooking with Amouranth. Tomorrow we're doing like a little like card show where you like show questions and chat answers, and then you show like a real answer, like things you didn't know about Amouranth, like things like that. Like those prepared shows, those are great. That's like the best kind of content. But I wouldn't do 5. How much do you stream 7 days a week, right?
Yeah.
That's insane. Like that's.
I feel like it. No, what I have noticed though, I saw chat mentioning this. Like, I do feel like I am less interesting because nothing happens in my life to share with.
Dude, that's
so like,
huge.
Over time, I have nothing to talk about. I'm like, you saw me, 6 hours ago. I took a 3-hour nap. What's up? Here I am again. Like, I feel like my personality has gone. I used to have so much more personality because I would do princess parties still, and like do stuff while I was streaming before I became such a full-time streamer. And also just the hustle of doing it 7 days a week. I feel like my mind isn't as sharp as it used to be, and my reactions are slower. And so I feel like most of the time I'm just like trying to comprehend, like, is there a message or are they all deleted? Like, I don't know. Like, it just like, I feel like kind of like drained a little bit. Like, I feel like it's in there. It's just not coming out right now, my personality, just because of like the nature of my schedule, excuse me, and the chat also, like just how many deleted messages there are.
Dude, I think what you just said is like, there's a Japanese word called satori. It means like moment of awakening. Yeah, I think what you said is so profound for you that like I if you could go back into this VOD and listen to what you just said, that is so important.
Yeah, I tell it to myself, but then I'm like, now how do I change it? Like I don't even know where to start. Like I know that there's like different content I could do, like, but then it's like then I feel that subscriber drop, you know?
Let me like so I'm pull up my Solinum, okay? Like so I can't type. I'm too excited. I think we're on something really, really good, okay? This is not me. Okay, hang on one sec. I was like, wait, this is not me. Why did it pull? There we go. I was like, these are not my stats. Okay. Tell me when you see this.
Let me move the Discord window.
Average viewers up 100%. Hours watched up 26%. Followers gained up 234%. Peak viewers up 20%. But I streamed half the time. What happened? I changed my content.
Get a life? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I changed my content. That's what happened. It's the perception of more hours streamed equals better stream is not true. And I can throw so many broadcasts at you. Like let's start with Raj Patel, right? Right there. So Raj streams God, goodness, like never. 38 hours this month over the last 30 days. That's up 51%. Yeah, and his views are actually down. So he streamed.
Yeah, so earlier, like when you pulled up my December to January thing and it was like the peak, my peak viewers, that I was actually setting that up for like, big growth because I just streamed constantly during the holidays. So like, how do you balance less streaming with what seemed to have worked, which was more streaming?
Because here it is, okay? Streaming longer and more hours will equate to growth. That will happen. We saw that in the trajectory in the graphs that we showed before. But making better content will exponentially grow you. So the problem is as long as you stream more hours, you're basically swimming upriver. And if you swim hard enough, you'll get somewhere. But you're not flowing with the stream because what's happening is like I showed you with just chatting is working against you. Because and by the way, this is not going to stop. So as of a couple of years ago, there was what like when you started streaming, there was like 8,000 partners.
Right.
There's 45,000 now. There when you started streaming, there was 300,000 or 400,000 live broadcasters on the entire platform at any given time. Now there's that many in just the Fortnite directory. In any given month, there's 3 million broadcasters on Twitch now. 3 million. So it's crazy, right? It's even crazier when you think that quite literally every one of those people is your competition.
Okay. So would you suggest that I change my content and stream less, or do I change the content first and then stagger back time streamed?
I wonder if one is necessary because I think, you told me to be blunt, so here it is. I think that just streaming as your life, number one, is insane. Insane in the sense that
I feel insane.
It will drive you insane. You will go crazy listening to these nerds. I can't fucking deal with these guys for longer than 3 hours. I like 3-4 hours. I'm out, dude. I can't even. I'm having such a good show right now because I've probably read like 2 lines of chat like this entire time. Okay, and like I know my mods are out there just like blah. Like I see the like. I'll tell you right now, dude. Like 4 hours in, I'm donezo. So you're doing this for 7 or 8 hours.
No, I've been doing this. Realistically speaking, the past 2.5 years or so, I've been streaming mostly like 10 to 12 hours a day.
10 to 12 hours a day,
and reading chat constantly.
Yes, and you're Amouranth. like
I get an insane amount of like unwarranted hate.
Yeah,
I know.
Your chat is way harder than mine. So like, you are probably going crazy. There's no like. I know that you are not a sociopath. Like,
No.
yeah.
But I do feel like it's hard to like keep up being that interesting because some of the times I'm just like, why would you say that? You know, it's like, how do I react to this and not give them what they want, which is anger and calling them out? And it's like,
because there's a way to like, so here, remember we brought up 39 Daff?
mm-hmm.
That's a great streamer to watch for this because, like there are plenty of like incels that wander into her chat and Daff just blows them up in a way that just makes them completely like it's like a Thanos snap. It's witty and it's like creative enough, but it's not like actual. The chat appreciates like a good, like a good old fashioned like rousing. Like if you get them, you know.
Yeah, I tried to do that a while ago, and I was trying to. My problem is I get so many of them. At what point do I stop because it becomes negativity?
Yeah, right.
It's like, it's like, where's the balance? Because I just get an onslaught of people. I could do that too, but then it's like, which ones do I choose, and how do I know when to stop?
Yeah, well, part of it is so there's like an insane aspect of this that I think I didn't even know going into this that we would actually get here, but I'm so glad we did. You are literally per hour like one of the hardest working people on the platform consistently over like even if you look at like people like all the other streamers who stream as much as you are totally nuts. Like XQC, completely insane. He's completely lost his mind. You don't even know what he's saying half the time, right? It's about juice and like who knows?
I don't know what I'm saying either.
Yeah, like I would say if you just like took a day off to go like be you, and then you could come back and talk about that, what are the implications for that of your stream?
I actually thought about taking a day off, but then going to therapy and streaming that because I actually don't know at this point what I would do if I took a day off because like I don't remember like who am I? What did I like doing? What were my preferences? Should I do dancing or ASMR? No, I'm not on the stream. That's like I don't know what to do.
So this does this right now like that you're having that moment of does that key anything in you that you're like, wait, maybe that's not a good thing that I'd like don't.
Oh no, I've known it's not a good thing for a long time.
So why
I've known.
Why keep going?
Because I don't know like what else I can do in order to keep that. Because like it seems like the few times I have like streamed less, like say I was traveling for a convention and streamed that, right? It's like I'll come back to stream and like potentially hundreds to a few thousand subscribers are down, and I'm like, holy crap! And it just feels so bad when you work for months to build that up, and then in a few days it's gone. I'm like, oh, that's awful, you know? So that kind of feeling.
But do you believe that working harder from this point can increase your concurrent viewership? Like if you stream,
because I don't have any time extra to work harder.
Yeah, not only that, but like I mean, just like principally, like streaming more hours will actually fix this problem.
Yeah, because I see like becoming a successful like streamer or influencer or whatever is kind of winning the lottery because there's so many people who want that job. And so I feel like if I stop doing it as much, like I'm throwing it away or not making the most of it.
I respect that. I think that doing it. So what I'm really here's what I actually believe. Okay, I'm just gonna fucking not bullshit you. I think if you really wanted to, and you thought about it, you could cut your stream time to a fourth. You could stream. I'm not recommending you do this. I'm just saying in theory, this is like you could stream 4 hours a day, use the rest of the time to have highly prepared shows and content that you design, and then put all of that on YouTube and social media and then talk about it, and your viewership would triple. I truly believe it on a fourth of the time streamed.
Would you recommend a time cut like cold turkey or just slowly like boiling the pot less and less time?
I think that first you go slow. I don't know what type of person you are. So some people like I just like assassinate the problem. Like I go like if I'm gonna like do something like quit smoking, I just don't smoke. Because if I like taper off, I'm fucked. I'll never do it. Right. People are different, right? Like I am. So for me personally, I'm too risk adverse to like not taper things off. Though I would start by literally taking a day off every week and just like thinking and using that time. You can work, right? But what you would work on is like, how do I prepare a show so that I have an idea of what is going on when I come in? This is what it's going to be. And like, so what I'll do is like, and I'll show you some of my show notes after this. So like for a lot of my shows, what I'll have is, I have a section called, Small Talk. And these are just like stories from my life. So for example, like on, I'm giving away all my secrets here, because chat's going to be like, ooh, it's scripted. Yeah. Okay. So like, it is scripted. Yeah. That's the secret, chat. Like, I'm not even live right now.
That sounds so like stress-free though, when you have planned content and for a few hours you're like, I'm out. Cause my biggest struggle is like how do I, as a degenerate who stays at home all day, become interesting for 12 consecutive hours?
You can't, because you're literally doing the thing that you're doing.
I'm like,
yeah,
because that's like XQC does it, but he like reacts, I guess, to other content a lot of the time, like his react videos.
But XQC is also a gamer.
Yeah. So I was also wondering in regards to gaming, though, that's another point that I had. Yeah. Do you think it's smart for me to get into like the FPS type genre, or do you think that's too oversaturated for my lack of skill and I should focus on like other games or no games? Or what kind of content do you think would be best with the future of Twitch?
So just chatting is the future of Twitch statistically, right? It's the only category that's growing in relation to all the other categories. More people are watching personalities and more people are watching prepared shows than they're watching gaming. You like, this is the totally blunt time. Core competency, right? Like in terms of like, what are you absolutely 100% best at? What are you best suited for? So for me, right? I'm really fucking good at RTS. A lot of people don't know this. I actually was I was a master Zerg and a diamond random. I can play StarCraft at a pretty high level. Nobody wants me to play StarCraft on the stream, right? They're here because I provide insight like this. Like that's my core competency. That's what I'm really good at. I would really love, in fact, yesterday I was playing Jedi Fallen Order off stream, and I would really love to stream that for these guys. But none of them.
Yeah, I was streaming that too. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's an awesome game, but none of them want to watch it because I have nothing I can bring to the table. And there's going to be people in chat that are like, "Oh, watch it." They won't really. They don't know what they want, right? Like I know what they want because I know them better than they know them. But like the point being that that's not my core competency. My core competency, as much as I want to do that, for me to show up here and be like Devin Nash, like put this on and be like, okay, like this is how we fucking do business. Like that's what people really want. So for you, what you are incredibly good at, I saw this in your YouTube videos, is like, if you are just you and you're personable and positive with your chat, like you're an awesome person to just be around. And people will spend hours just chilling with you because of your kindness and your friendliness and what you bring to the table. As much as everyone wants to joke that you're about the sexual content, I think that's a hook. And I think the real drive for you is your personality that you have suppressed forcibly because all you fucking do is stream.
Yeah.
And so you,
I guess not forcibly, it's more of subconsciously.
Yes,
but
like
the nature of doing it.
It has been forced upon you, I mean. Yeah. As a result of this insane workload. And I think underneath that is a really interesting person that I think is where the true community lies. I think that's where you get people that are going to be invested in you for a long time. They're going to look at who you really are, your stories, your life, your talents, your ups and your downs, and that's what they attach to.
Okay. But do you not think like by streaming less that I will lose relevancy if that's what I've built my Twitch on, is streaming really long hours and like all the time? Do you think that that'll like turn people away and I'll lose relevancy, or do you think that doesn't matter anymore?
I think content is king. I think if you prepare shows and you give them good shows, then nobody will notice the difference. I think that if you stream less and your shows are low quality and you don't think about it, you will lose relevance.
Okay.
So the key here is what content are you going to do, right?
Right.
And like how and like I would ask myself the question, for me it's very easy to put myself into the mind of an 16 to 30-year-old male, right? Because I am one, right? So like I think of you, and I also am really good at this too. Like I can envision demographics really well. It's one of the reasons why I'm a CMO, right? Is like I can look at a market and I can be like, this is how I would sell that market.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if I am the average Twitch demographic, which is like play video games, I probably like have like a decent social circle, going to school, and I am just not going to be in front of a woman that is like as beautiful and as like forward facing and personable as you, because like the average person just doesn't encounter that. Okay. So
We're all at home using social media.
Yeah.
Not going outside.
Yeah. Well, we're all at home using social media, looking at girls like you, like wishing that we had the girls like that. Okay. So like the bottom line is like, when someone comes to your stream, if you can give them that experience of having a friend in you like that, you're gonna win really hard. Mm-hmm. And that I think is what Pokey does so well. Mm-hmm. And I think the difference between you and her is that her demo actually skews younger.
Right.
So
that's another question that I had too regarding that before I forget. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's smart to have basically different genres of myself on different platforms? Like on YouTube, it's more geared towards girls with try-ons. On Instagram and Twitter, it's more like adult, I guess, content. And on Twitch, it's not really that, but it's like, I guess I'm not like reformed in the way where it's like maybe the way I present myself wouldn't say advertiser friendly, but what I do isn't sexual in nature or anything. And like on TikTok, it's like it appeals to both girls and guys of that, and it's very like modest, like it's very advertiser friendly, I would say, because you have certain dress codes on TikTok more than anywhere else, and it's just like lip syncing and stuff, so it appeals to the younger set of audience. Do you think it's okay to have different genres of that appeal to so many different people on different platforms, or do I need to be more cohesive to build like a brand that they'll follow me to every platform with?
I think that having separate forms of content on separate platforms is totally fine, and that the crossover audience is actually really small. So one of the misconceptions is like, if I post something on Twitter, then I take a picture of it and then I post it on Instagram. Okay. Mm-hmm. A lot of content creators think that it's not a good idea to do that because their audience will see the same content. But that, in fact, and we've done this so many times, done this so many times, that in fact does not happen for two reasons. Right. One is because your audience on that platform is different. And secondly, your the time to view ratios are different. So like, for example, for like on Twitter, it's like 14 minutes where like a post average, and on Instagram it's 90 minutes. So if a person views your tweet at 7 a.m. this morning versus a person that views your Instagram at 8 p.m., there will be no crossover in that audience. Does that make sense?
So what do you mean by 14 minutes versus 90 minutes? Like, are we talking about like after you post, that's the view window?
Sorry,
or
so
like...
14 minutes is, that's the view window. So on Facebook, it's 120 minutes. On Instagram, it's 90 minutes. On Twitter, it's 14 minutes. And on LinkedIn, it's like some enormous spooky amount.
Okay.
Yeah. So what that means is, as long as you're staggering your content, as in like you're releasing it at different times, you'll get no crossover. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's absolutely fine. Showing like different sides of yourself is something a lot of creators do very successfully. A really good example of this is Logan Paul, who is like widely known as like a type of dude. His YouTube channel, forward facing, is his crazy shit, right? then he has a podcast on another channel called Impulsive, where he like literally like a marketing expert breaks down everything he does, and it's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
You would never think it.
I've seen him. I've seen a few episodes of that. Yeah, it was pretty good of him to try that. Then that's one of the other people that have like come back from like a tarnished reputation. So I saw chat being like, Amouranth's reputation on Twitch is tarnished. I'm like, if you think about it, I actually haven't done anything. Like I haven't like showed dead bodies. I don't have controversial views. I don't get in drama with other people. Like I actually think that it's more of a lack of doing anything that is hurting me right now.
Yeah.
Other than me doing something that has turned people away.
You can't die unless no content creator can die unless A, they destroy themselves, or B, they get deplatformed. Controversy actually is better. Logan Paul has benefited from all of his controversy. The Suicide Forest thing was better for his brand, not worse. Because over time, it got him way more talked. It's a concept called earned media, which is basically like, are people talking about you? Like your suspension would have been better for your channel if not for the follower thing.
Yeah,
because more people would have talked about
I feel like that's the biggest thing that's impacted me. Also, is like that. As we don't know if that actually was it really bots or was it some of my organic followers. You know?
Yes.
Because it's like it doesn't make sense if they were just bots. Are you saying that the bots this entire time have been chatting and subscribing, like, and showing up for my streams like every day and like getting notifications and going to my pre-stream? Like, I don't know. It just seems weird that would be all bots to me, but I don't even know if I'll get clarity on that. Like, how would you suggest that if I can go about asking my account manager or like,
well, Twitch,
I don't even know how to start that question.
Twitch doesn't have any insight into whether those are bots or not themselves. Like they definitely don't have any technology that well, definitely not. No, they can't differentiate. Literally, unless the name is like AXQZ378889991. AXQZ378889992. If they ban that, then yes, those are probably bots. But there's like an engineer could go through the log and could be like could verify it. But the chances of you getting this done with Twitch is like, to me, astronomical. I don't think they'll do it. So it's like I would just focus on moving forward. Like yeah, I mean I would bring it up to your to your AM again and say like, hey, look, like you could even mention me. Like I just talked to Devin. Like we looked at like the last 3 months, and I'll send you all these graphs and stuff too.
Well, my AM actually recently switched like right after that event too. So
well, actually,
I don't
that might
know
be a good thing.
if I can. I'm not sure if it's too soon for me to be like, hey, now that you're here and you're managing me now, fix this or look into it, you know, and tell me like if you can confirm anything. Like I don't know if that's like asking too much.
No, it's literally their job. Okay. It's their job is to serve you as a you're a partner. Like that's their job is to work for you. You gotta.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to be nice to your AM. Like, oh, you should be nice to your AM, but I mean, like, you should like you don't have to like, hey, like, can you go do your job for me? You know, like it's like that kind of thing, right?
Like, should I explain the conversation I guess I had with my old AM and that he said they were bots, or should I just be like,
I wouldn't.
Hey, I would look into this.
Don't inform.
Why did I?
Yes, that's what you should do. Because don't inform them of You're giving them an out if you do that. It's because, oh, the Twitch staff did that. Well, then their easy answer is like, oh, Twitch, yeah, they're bots, sure. Like, I'll just side with that. But give them like a new problem. Like, hey, I've looked at like the last 3 months of my broadcast. It's corresponded to a drop in viewership when this follower thing happened. Can you please look into this and let me know like what's going on?
Okay.
And then see what happens. And I'd be really interested to follow up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that there is something really important in the hours thing. I'm going to keep bouncing back to that.
In regards to like streaming more is killing me inside or what?
Inside and outside on the stream as well. I think that more hours don't benefit you at this stage of your career. And
I have thought about that for a while, though, like not just like recently, but even before, like maybe the past year. I have wondered that if it, like we said, with the reruns and like the live 24-hour actually like removing the appeal of live, like do you think that the fact that I do stream 12 hours so much that people associate me with that would just be like, oh, it's Amouranth. Yep, she's there when I'm ready. And I'm going to watch all the other streamers on my follower list that are there for a few hours. And then I'll go back to Amouranth because she'll be online still. I don't know if that mindset is valid or not.
Of course it is. I mean, like, think about this. Like, let's say that you're doing a show. Let's say you're going to be on 6 hours today, okay? and you're doing a show where you what's like a little game show we can do, like where you like maybe you have like a wheel you spin with chat, and it's like it has like little like questions or things you can answer, and like it's like a little fun thing they can do. Okay, like and chat knows that they can show up for that show, right? Or they can catch your content 24/7, and like they can watch you. Like which one are they gonna do? They're gonna show up for like case in point, right? I said I'm gonna have Amouranth on this morning. Show up for a show at 10 a.m. Here they are, right? Like if I was 24/7, it'd be a lot less interesting to do that, right? Because like people, this sounds like really dumb psychologically, but like people show up for events. Like if you have a stadium, and then you're like, there's gonna be a monster truck rally here at the stadium at this time, then people go to it. But they don't go to the stadium if it's just always there. That's like a weird analogy, but that's like how I would think about it, right? So the key is not just rerun content, but it's special content. It's can you do something during those hours that they're not going to get otherwise?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be like, it sounds like more work to people listening, but like to me who has experienced it, that actually sounds like less work. Because the work that I feel right now is on the spot, having nothing prepared, getting on stream, like, what's up? What are we going to do for the next 12 hours? I have no idea. Guess something we do every day, because I don't have anything that you have to get prepared to do other things. And it actually is like, feels more physically and mentally exhausting.
Of course, because you're literally having to ad hoc everything for 12 hours a day. And versus like I said, like again, like you can cut your show, like let's just say in half. Like, because a fourth is extreme, but you can cut your show in half, prep your show, have a plan for the 6 hours, and then you will triple your viewer count, because like you will have more stuff going on. You'll be more exclusive. Your viewers will be there for something. You'll have a plan that'll give you confidence, and the other 6 hours you can actually like go outside, like
sunlight.
Yeah, dude,
what is it?
Yeah, like actually like go outside and like do something, like and then like talk about that when you get back. Like, hey, like
blog it.
Yeah,
like TikTok it.
Or
content.
I mean, it's gonna take a lot to get you out of the
I know.
It's gonna take a lot of work.
Like no, that's not fixing your insanity. Stop. Stop.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Yes.
Therapy. Meditate.
Yeah. Yes. Seriously, meditate. Like
I've never done that. I had an uncle who was really into it, but I don't live near him anymore, so I've never meditated. And I'm like, maybe I should do that. I hear all these YouTubers talking about it, like that's how I keep sane. And I'm like, oh, that's the secret.
I would highly recommend it. Yeah, and you can just join a class. Do you live in like a city?
Yeah. I live in Houston, so.
Yeah, like there's meditation classes and shit, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Like,
yeah.
I think if you did it, like there's a lot. But like if you didn't want to think, and like you're gonna have to think about this in stages, but like if you didn't want to think about like, holy shit, like how do I do like a personality based like channel with like all this kind of stuff? If you literally just eliminate reruns, stream less, which sounds totally fucking insane, but prep your shows, you will increase in the next 2 to 3 months if you did nothing else. If you also added a personality-based YouTube to that, because you have time to do it, it would be even better. Though it's not going to perform at the same level at first, because you're going to have to grow a channel. If you're patient with it, it'll do better in the long run. Yeah,
like I'm already like in the process of getting a highlights channel made, but I can consider like the reacts. And by that you mean like the Sniper Wolf type reacts, where she just like reacts to current things happening online, or do you mean like a stream reacts specifically?
Either. Pokey does these really well, where like she'll have like occasional videos where she basically like reacts to a scary game, or she reacts to like something that happened at TwitchCon, or a big part of her content is like she'll do, and again this is because her audience skews lower age. So like here's one, like this is a perfect example of like a event, right? Pokemon tries following a Bob Ross painting tutorial. This is like an event of a thing that she did on her stream, right? It's just like, it's like, this is not something she does every day. It's something she's going to do. And it's like a painting stream. So like this is like really good for personality content because like here's like Pokey answers assumptions about herself, dating insecurities, and social life. So here's like a highly targeted personality based show, like YouTube video. You can see that's like done better than most of her other videos. And then she has this like Fortnite content where she's mostly just like going off of conversations. Like basically what she does is she joins a game, she has a conversation with a 12-year-old, and then it's funny. And then she puts that on YouTube. That's that.
That's funny.
But the thing to look at here is like, Pokey reacts to new Fortnite season. I've wanted to do this my entire life. Paris vlog, right? Events, right? Pokey does makeup, right? Pokey does this person's makeup. These are all things that I'm like talking about, right? Hot Chubby also does this kind of stuff. You'll find cooking streams. She plays
How much
the piano.
does Hot Chubby stream? Like how much? Like
She
how many
streams
hours or days a week or whatever would you say are her programs approximately that are working?
6 days a week, 4 hours a day. That's it. That's it. And she and just talking to her, she said that she doesn't want to do more than 4 hours because she wants to take the time to prepare her content. And so she has, and I mean, like, I looked at all the back end for how she preps her content. It's insane. Like, she has like full blown notes. She knows basically in 30-minute chunks like what she's gonna do. And sometimes this is not like complicated shit, right? Like one block could be like 30 minutes spent reacting to clips, but it's there. Right. She knows what she's doing. And then the other one's like 30 minutes like playing a card game with chat, right?
Yeah.
If you just, I think if you, and you could go as gradual as you want with this, like cut out like 3 hours, add 1 hour of prep. Yeah.
Where does she get the memes or like the reactive content that she does like in large enough quantities to make a program doing it? Because like I've tried that before and like my people don't post them. So like how do you get that? How do you get your community to get them, or do you pull them from like a site, or is there like meme sites I don't know about that are current that you can just go off of until your community gets more active? Or
yeah, great question. So she drives it. She drives the culture herself. So she created a Discord channel called Hachu Memes. And then she continuously talked about it. And so people, the short of it is that you as a personality give it attention, and then the attention fuels more work into it. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling thing.
Also, that's the question. Before we forget, do you think it's hurting me to have Discord sub only instead of public channels?
At this stage, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you make money off of it, then that's another thing.
No, I mean I could still have subscriber channels, right? And then like a public section for Discord. Right now, I have never had that in my entire history of streaming. I've never had public Discord.
The reason I actually think it is beneficial to have a public Discord is because of the call to action you can add everyone when you go live. It'll actually, because we go back to that Twitch notifications thing. Discord is a good way to skip notifications so that you can, because that will tell everyone that you're live.
Okay.
So I do think that you should have a public Discord.
Someone in the chat said I need to make a Reddit. I already have that. I've had that for years.
I actually don't think
another thing is like, how do I get people to go to the Reddit and be active on it and like post memes and stuff and have that kind of like Reddit community as an individual streamer instead of like a failed selection?
At people that have done it successfully. So Destiny and Trainwrecks, right? They go to their Reddits every day on stream and interact with it at the beginning of the stream. The first thing that Trainwrecks does every single stream is he goes on and looks at every post in his Reddit, which then encourages people to. So again, your actions. What?
My posts on Reddit need a little bit more pre-moderation, but yeah.
What does that mean?
I know what you're saying. Because people will post other content that Twitch doesn't like there.
Oh,
from Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, that's all.
Got it. Okay.
And I'm like, no, not that one.
Yeah. I don't think that Reddit for you is like a if we're thinking of a return on time investment, Reddit is not up there on the list. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So
you
like,
think Discord would be better? Have a public
100%. Like building out your Discord, and it takes less time too. Building out your Discord and then giving incentive for people to be there. Also, the other problem with Reddit is it just skews more toxic, which you don't need more of.
Right.
Yeah, like you have to consider the type of people that are going to use it on a regular basis and post there. And even broadcasters like Destiny are just like, I fucking hate my subreddit. Like they just like there's just too much toxicity there, and it's not a driver of like positivity to your channel.
Right.
Yeah. So I think Discord is a much better space for that. It's more easily moderated, and it's also going to have better calls to action because, like, if you make a Reddit post, you're like, I'm streaming right now, like, no one's gonna fucking, well, it's not gonna work, right? But if you make a Discord, add everyone, and your whole public is there, you like a very big reason why I can stream pretty much at any time to like 400 or 500 people at least is because I can just add everyone, and people actually keep I only add everyone for stream notifications only.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't add it. No matter how big the news is, I only add everyone if it's like a live stream, so they don't mute my server.
Okay. And just so I have like a perspective on range, we talked about Hot Chubby, and she streams like 4 hours 6 times a week.
Yeah.
What about on the other spectrum? Do you think there are personality streamers who could benefit from streaming more? Like they don't stream enough, so we have like the minimum amount versus like the good average to be at. Like maybe Pokey, do you think she would benefit from streaming more hours, or do you think for her starving her audience of content actually helps her?
I think that more streaming hours in this ecosystem, so Pokey would make more money, but she would not grow more.
Okay. So you think like the bigger that you get and like the less growth that you have, the more you will benefit from streaming a little less, as long as you're still mostly active throughout the month?
This is why broadcasters like Ninja and Shroud have moved to Mixer, because they've identified that the live streaming aspect of their career is not as important as like the earned media and the work they're doing on YouTube, on shows, on public appearances and things like that. So they're okay. So a lot of people are like, oh, Ninja's like losing relevance because he's only got like 8K, 10K viewers on Mixer. Like these people are idiots. Like Ninja is spending all of his time.
It's a smaller platform. Yeah,
it is. Too. Yeah. But also Ninja doesn't need those concurrents to be relevant, because like that's not the only we tend to think, because all we do is stream, that concurrent viewers is relevance, but it's not. Relevance is another thing. It's like how often you are. That's why we call them impressions, right? An impression is literally somebody being exposed to you. So if Ninja is getting more total impressions on the combination of all the platforms that he's on than he was on Twitch, which is undoubtedly happening, he's brand positive. Does that make sense? His brand's going up. He's growing. Right. So Ninja's still growing, even though his concurrents are going down.
Right. He just has more time to post everywhere else.
He has more exposure other places. So for in the same way, Pokey. So like the question is, Pokey could stream 6 more hours, or even 3 more days, or she could take a 3-day trip to Japan, and she could get how much endless content from that, and not only endless content, but unique content that she hasn't done before in a different place. And that all appeals to viewers. So Pokey made a choice, right? Just last week? I don't know. She was like, instead of streaming the next 3 days, I'm just going to go to Japan. So most streamers, like you might say, well, I'm not going to take a trip to Japan because I got to stream for 12 hours, right? But Pokey said that because she knew that she could drive more content that could exist then on YouTube, that could exist on Instagram, that could be in different places, than if she had sat and streamed for 12 hours playing Fortnite.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's how you have to think about everything.
So, hold on, let me look at my notes. I think I had a question. I've just been writing stuff down. Did you say stuff to come back to it?
Yeah.
Where was... We talked about Hot to Be already. So do you think that that conflicts with the Gary V or Mark Cuban view, though, of streaming more, or like needing a lot of commitment to succeed? Or even like if the amount that Chubby and Pokey do, is that too much in those guys' views? Like what do you think they are analyzing this?
To be fair, they're in a... So I have a really crazy YouTube video that somehow, speaking of the YouTube algorithm, like, so my normal videos do like 30 to 40K, and this one did like 200. It was the why Shroud moved to Mixer thing. And I think about like why this video did this well. And I think it's because it answers this question. So Shroud and Ninja are in a little bit of a unique place, right? Which is that both of them, first of all, both of them right now are 25, 27-ish.
Okay.
So if let's say that everybody is right and they take a massive brand hit, but in exchange they make $30 million for 3 years. Well, by the time that they're back on Twitch, they're fucking 29 years old. So that they're not even like, that's 10 more years, 20 more years where you can do content. And it's like they're not set back at all, right? So that's number one, is that they can take that risk. But number two is, like, speaking to your point, it's that Shroud moving to Mixer, the reason he thinks to do that is because he understands that the potential partnerships and the potential work and benefit that can come from making a move like that is more important than maintaining a certain amount of viewership. So if Microsoft says, you're going to be the first person to play Halo, we're going to put you in front of it, and we're going to televise it, and we're going to put it on in like a big tournament, and you're going to be our poster boy for that, the amount of earned media he gets for that is way more than if he does like a 20K viewer stream every day on Twitch to the same audience.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their thinking on it is complicated, but when I say earned media, do you know what I mean?
No, you can elaborate a little bit.
Yeah. So earned media is super important here. What it means is there's two types of media, okay? So there's owned media, which is media you pay for. So this could be like boosting a Facebook post or like buying an ad, okay? And owned media literally means like I'll say instead of attention, I'll mean attention you pay for. So this could be impressions, it could be likes, right? It could be engagement. Earned media is when people talk about you, attention you get from things.
Okay, so like your organic
for.
relevancy
Yes.
that people are like, okay, bringing you up enough.
Shroud and
natural
Ninja
virality.
stand to have better earned media as a result of their moves to Mixer. In the same way that it's like suspensions for many Twitch streamers are beneficial to them in the long run because more people talk about them.
Unless they, delete your followers.
Unless they delete your followers. That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, also, I was wondering if we were talking about like prepared content. Do you think it's important when you are doing these shows to have like a schedule and like a same time zone every day, like same time block every day that they know to expect you?
We have.
Or what are your thoughts on that?
So Nerd Fusion has an internal ranking system for important things streamers can do to succeed. The number one thing is a consistent schedule on that list.
Okay.
So having a consistent schedule for prepared content is imperative. It is.
Does it need to be the same time every day, or do you think that
preferably.
you should hit different time zones on different days? No.
The best time to stream on Twitch is 6 a.m. PST to 12 p.m. PST.
So what is that in Central Time? Like 8 to 2? 8 a.m. to 2?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Right? Wait.
Yeah.
Is it? Chat?
2 hours later than California, as we are.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it would be 8 to 2 p.m. So the reason for this is that you hit all audiences. You get Asia, you get UK prime time, and you get the American work week.
8 is even earlier than I thought, because I used to stream like, I guess, more consistently before I started tacking on all the YouTube stuff. Like at 11 to 12, and I haven't even been getting that early recently just because I've been so busy and like my schedule is fucked. But 8 is like way later than I thought.
So do you normally start streaming at 11 or 12 p.m.?
Used to. Lately, it's usually like late afternoon to the evening, just because like I'm trying to do more content like for Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, etc.
That's affecting your numbers as well, 100%, because that is the worst time to stream on Twitch. And so here's this will make tons of sense. Like, it's really super simple. Everything has to do with it's called V-S. It's viewer to streamer ratio. So it means basically how many streamers are there and how many viewers are there for those streamers. If you stream from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., one of the really big reasons why that is such an effective time slot, it isn't even just the crossover with Asia and the UK. That's a factor, but honestly, it's just because most streamers can't be fucked to get up that early. So what ends up happening is that all the viewers are there because they're still there to watch it, but there's no streamers to stream. The number of streamers on the platform is lowest at those times. After 12 p.m., everybody wakes up because they're all nerds. So they all wake up at 12 p.m., 1 p.m., drag themselves out of bed and start their stream. So in that time slot, you're now competing with everybody. Does that make sense? But at 6 a.m. to 12 a.m., if you start your stream at 6 in the morning, actually 8 for you, so even earlier.
Yeah.
But a good example of a person that built their entire brand on just this concept, what are we? 2 things: consistent schedule and early stream times. Co-Carnage. Ben built his entire stream, he wakes up at 5 a.m., starts his stream, goes until noon, and he kills it every time. Because the number of people that are on to compete with you at that time is very small. That one change right there, if you literally did nothing else as a result of this entire conversation and you just streamed earlier and you were consistent, you would grow your viewership. Literally do nothing else but that if you did.
So combining everything would be like really put exponential growth.
If you combined everything, you're going to be like the Pokey of this platform, and I fully expect you to come back and donate some of your millions to my channel.
Find my personality again.
No. I mean, I'm without a. I actually going into this was a little bit. I think nervous is the right word because like I want to provide a lot of value for everybody that I talk to. And I didn't know how to do it going in, except for a couple of like recommendations that I haven't actually have gotten to. And like, I'm so glad that we got into this hours thing and we got into like a lot of these sort of aspects of this because holy shit, if you even do 20% of this, it's going to completely change your life.
Yeah. Oh, 2 more questions before I forget.
No, I love it. Like you literally no one asked me questions like this. No, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Regarding my schedule and having like shows that be posted on my page, like the time slots and like Amouranth stuff these times. And do you think that I need to have like a calendar of events, like different streams, like this is when we're doing this stream, that stream, and that stream, or should I just have the time and they show up and it's a surprise?
No.
What do you think is better?
Schedule
so they know like which ones they want to show up for?
Tell them as early as possible as you can. Build marketing and hype around it. I will do some like, I really don't do this as well, but when I do it, it's really great. I'll be like, dudes, Saturday, there is going to be a show unlike any show. It is going to be the best fucking show. And like, I'll like start talking about that as early as possible to hype it up. Like why do movies do trailers and stuff like that, right? They get you excited about being there and then
well, that kind of thing is still kind of a surprise, but like do you think that most days you should say this day I'm doing cooking, this day I'm doing like taking you with me to like I don't like at the dog park or a pool stream or whatever, or do I need to just say tomorrow's gonna be awesome, make sure you show up at this time like every day, and then like they show up and it's like, oh, we're doing this, didn't know. That's cool.
Tell them because here's the thing, the people that are going to show up every day, they are going to show up anyway. But if you give people a reason to be there, then they will be. Today
I was sure, like, if not knowing would actually be like, well, I wonder what she's gonna do today. Would be kind of mystique, or do you think that should just be occasionally for really big events?
Surprises are like maybe like a surprise collab. That would be maybe one of the only instances that I do it, where it's like, but even then, I still think that like you can hype it up because just having more people know about it. So like for example, if we had started talking about this collab like a week ago, it would have done better than if I had just been like, hey, it's Amouranth. And the reason is because like people like, believe it or not, this sounds like kind of crazy, but people will actually like schedule your shit. They'll be like, oh, at 8, I really want to watch Amouranth cook. Like I'll be there at 10 a.m. to see that, and they'll schedule that like a week out. They'll put you on their fucking Google Calendar shit. Like that'll happen. Like that'll be a thing. It doesn't seem like they. Again, this is like the way that consumers behave is just different from how we behave, because like we in theory like don't need to have lives because like we can stream, but like other people like they have like jobs and shit, and so like they'll actually be like, oh, like 9 a.m. Amouranth's gonna be here, I'll be there, and they'll plan it. Yeah. Okay.
Also another thing, I don't know if this affects me at all. I was just kind of thinking about it. Like currently, like the way I've been doing it for the past few years, which has been successful in the past, is I would have like sub goals.
Okay.
You know, to like the viewers decide what activities they want to keep doing with like timers and stuff. And this gets me more subs than other streamers. My viewership level at one point, you know, was like like 9 to 10K maybe at my subscribers were, and that's like a lot for my viewership level compared to other streamers.
Yes, it is.
But should I continue doing that going forward, or do you think in the long run it's going to kill the program?
No, all of the incentive goals you have, everything you do to get more subs, all the things that you do on your channel to do that, and I'm aware of a lot of them. They are extremely intelligent. You should keep doing them.
Okay.
You are one of the best. So that is like that subscriber ratio to viewer ratio should tell you something. You are literally one of the best people on this platform at calls to action for subscribers. Don't do anything different there. Everything you're doing there is right. It's fucking insane how good you are at that. Like I could learn things from you on calls to action with subs. That's how good you are.
I just wasn't sure because I have no one else to look at who does that, and I'm like, I can't tell if like this is hurting me or helping me because there's literally no one else I know of that does that consistently and is like relevant enough for me to know who they are.
You're literally like one of the best people at that I know on the platform. It is insane how good you are at it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
good.
That's why you have a so for perspective, your subscriber ratio is 4 to 1, right? I think so for there's 4 subscribers for every 1 concurrent viewer you have, I think. Isn't that right? Maybe even 5 to 1.
Yeah, right. It used to be higher. Actually, it's funny because like right before BlizzCon, when we were talking about all these problems that are happening, the follower laws, everything, it was just above 10K subscribers.
So
right now it's like 6,000 since the followers got deleted, and my numbers have tanked, and my chat has slowed, and it's been crazy.
So the average stream on Twitch is 2 to 1. So you're still a full multiplier above that, even with all the problems. To give you some idea of like how totally insane that is.
Yeah, it's crazy because I used to get like an average of like over 200 new subs a day, like new, not resubs. And then lately it's been like somewhere between 60 and 120. It's like a super big drop. Like 120 is high now for me. Like if I get to 100, I'm like, oh, it wasn't as terrible as it was when I got 60 subs in 8 hours, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, it makes it feel like it's not worth it almost, and like there's nothing I can do. So like, I don't know if the follower thing really had an impact, but I am willing to do anything I can to change the content and fix it myself, even if they'll never fix it for me.
You can't rely on them to. And like it's only you that are steering the ship ultimately. Nobody else can save you but yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I don't know how much for me, I don't even think it's like, I mean, go to your AM and like do the dance with it. Expect nothing to happen. The thing is like if Twitch literally here's my mindset on it, and I think this is like healthy. If Twitch literally disabled every form of discovery for me that they have right now today, they're like, no notifications ever. We're not going to send any emails about you. We're never going to talk about you. All you do is you just exist on this website. I would honestly not lose a beat. I would be like, fine.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's
my
the mindset
biggest
that you have to
problem
have.
is I stopped advertising on other websites too, because it felt like at the time it wasn't bringing me a lot, but I guess Twitch is like changing the way that it.
No, that's your external viewership is going to be one of the most important things to drive people to Twitch. And by the way, as Twitch develops its algorithms, that will become more true because like, so for example, on YouTube, YouTube weighs views that come from off the site higher than views that come from in the site. So if you search for a video and you find it while you're on YouTube, that means less to YouTube than if you get sent a video and then you come from Discord or from somewhere else. The reason is because the objective of all of these platforms is for you to live on them. So as Twitch develops its machine learning, I pray to God that in some universe their engineers will finally get to work on this, even though there's 800 of them and they can't seem to figure this out. But that's a separate thing. I get very upset about this. They will make it so that off-platform views matter more than on-platform views. Twitch will do that in time. They have to, because that is how you get new acquisition on the website. They want viewers coming from other places.
Speaking of that, can we talk about like what exactly the analytics mean, like when it says where views are coming from, like all these other sites, and like the fact that I guess previously I would get views from other big channels, and now I'm getting views only from people who like directly host me, who aren't even necessarily streamers, just like my viewers auto hosting. You know, I'm like, I don't know how that, like, what did they do to change that?
when I looked at your stats here for this, it didn't matter because the total number of external views you're getting from other streamers was like literally a 50th of your unique views. So you can just ignore that.
What about the ones, the analytic where it said like views from
channels? So let me pull up your.
Previously, it was saying that I was getting. Let's see, go back up to this.
No, I saw it. But what I'm saying is like, here's your DM. So, from October, okay, so this is what I mean. Okay, ready for this? From October 18th to November 16th. You got 8,853 views in total from Twitch channels, okay? But in the same amount of time, you got 5 million views total.
By the platform,
yes. So like...
And I think that was around, because it included my suspension controversy and then also included BlizzCon streams.
Yeah. Yeah, so the literal point of it is that it just, like... The recommendations that Twitch is doing, just ignore it. It doesn't matter. For your stats right now, 43% of your views, 2.3 million, are coming from followers. 30% are coming from your actual page. 9% are coming from, quote, other recommendations. 8% are coming from the browse page. And then 4% from physical searches, which is actually really interesting. That's higher than many people. And then if you actually look, here's the ones that don't matter. Clips, less than 1%. Email, less than 1%. Notifications, less than 1%. So other streamers and notifications are getting you literally, you can ignore it. What is getting you your views is your followers and your page, which means your page means that people are hanging out on your page waiting for you to stream.
Right. So there's probably like VOD data, basically. That's what I think. 'Cause I just recently started stopping that. It's not going to show info for a long time.
Right. So if you schedule your streams and you make your Discord public and you do calls to action there, those numbers are going to go up.
Okay. So what do you think changed though with the Twitch analytics themselves? Because it used to be like, I don't know if you can scroll up more than that. The views from channels, it said 31,000 views I got from other streamers. Yep. Whereas now it says 32 views, and they're just my viewers hosting me.
So
from channels.
Let me look.
Because that's like a huge number difference. Like, what happened there? Or did it just change the way it
Shroud host you?
No, these people would never host me because it has Riot Games on there, XQC, Copycat, Summit.
This is public information. Can I show this on stream?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
that's fine.
Just curious. Yeah. So what she's showing me here is she's showing me her views from her channel. She has 11% from Shroud, which is
that's what it used to be. Not currently.
Yeah. Sorry, this is not current. So currently, so now we'll show the other one. So that's that, and then now.
And what I think that means is like people from those channels, they see me in the recommended and click on, is what I'm assuming.
I can tell you the way that works. But give me 1 second. So like, let's see. So now this is your current readout, right? So you're literally just getting 361 from someone named Misfire, who actually, I know who that is. So
I think they might have hosted me or something, but typically it's 32 views if no big huge streamer hosts me. Like I have in a different screenshot.
So your question is, why was that 30,000 views then, and now it's only?
Yeah, and my ban was in September, like early September, late August, somewhere in there. The suspension.
So the answer is because here is I can tell you 100% what happened. Ready? These streamers watched you on their streams. All of those broadcasters are React streamers. So they probably watched your clips when you were doing the suspension stuff and like when stuff was going on. They watched you. Yep.
That is before that point, though. I think that
you did something. you were in the media.
I did something. That wasn't like the clip with the 31,000 though. Wasn't around my ban. That was just like
that may be. But what I'm saying is the only reason why these people would actually what you would get pulled in by these people is because so Summit 1G, Asmongold, Shroud, XQC, all these people are live stream fail people. You were at the top of LSF for something, they watched you on your stream. I promise it.
Okay.
I swear it. That is 100% what it is. It's Reddit and it's LSF. I don't know what you did, but you did something.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
They make everything I do. If I breathe, I'm a thought. So that's what Reddit decides, and they get mad that I don't chew my macaroni and cheese when I have braces.
Tell me about it. I'm CEO Andy. I'm the I got everyone's got a story. I'm CEO Andy, and then basically like my mission is I reveal the I talk a lot about like self-improvement and success, which like if you're an incel like sitting on Reddit for 12 hours a day, you really don't like that kind of stuff because it forces you to look into the darkness, and they don't like to do that. So I think like I'm one of the most hated people on LSF typically. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm not sure if LSF is ultimately good or bad for your channel, because on one hand, you get views, but on the other hand, you also get more mass reportings. So I don't know which one is better.
I think it's probably net good. It's funny. It's funny too because earned media, back to that, right? That's always good. But like it's funny too because like LSF is like so fickle. So like most of the time when I get posted there, I get really negative comments. I had just at random, I had a clip of me dancing because I used to do competition dancing. And
we should have a dance off.
I'm so down. Wait. You just be careful. Like you play like every day, right?
Yeah.
I also play every day.
Do you play Just Dance every day?
I play Just Dance every day and only on extreme songs. I will do really good at this.
Dude, I want you to beat me. I want to see it. I want that glorifying moment, because that'll actually go more viral. It'll help both of us.
Okay.
It'd be perfect.
If we can figure out a way to do this.
Amouranth gets beat by Devin, and then it's also Devin beat Amouranth. Pog. It's like we're both gonna get views.
When I start pulling out the flips, it's gonna be super awesome. Yeah. Have you seen have you seen the dance stuff?
No, I haven't seen your dance stuff.
Okay. Like the point was on LSF, I got a random clip of me dancing, and there was like 300 comments. Every single comment was positive. So I just don't understand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I just don't understand like Reddit. Like I don't get it.
Reddit purposely clips only the times where I'm finally tired of dancing and I sit down in my chair and they're like, chair dancing, so unenthusiastic. And I'm like, I was dancing for 9 hours. Leave me alone.
They'll wait for the moment till they
They'll
can get you.
wait for the make you look bad. Yeah. That's all they do.
Yeah. Like I linked it. I'm not gonna. So I used to do dancing. Are you gonna watch it?
I'm watching it right now.
Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna go get more tea. You can watch that, and then I can leave you a chat for a minute. Okay.
Oh dang! Get it?
Wait, you guys want to watch it too? Okay, you guys can.
I'll let them watch it. We'll watch it together.
All right, fine. Okay. All right.
That's amazing. It looks awesome.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Good luck. I'll be right back. Like 2 minutes. Big thoughts, gonna tell them all just what I want. That street, 2 streets, I see you and me hanging on the end swings.
He's so good. What the heck? Ooh! Ooh, slay! Look at those hips, chat. Oh my god, I'm gonna get pregnant from watching this. Oh my god, that's fire, dude. What the heck? So good, actually killing it. He needs to give me dance lessons. Thanks, Pepper Winter, for gifting 10 subs. Oh, shit! Flips and stuff, dude. What? That's footwork, though. Just wait? Okay. Is that it? Oh, no, it's not it. Or is it a repeat? No, it's still going. Dang, look at that shuffle. He could be a bang girl. This is honestly amazing. Dude, how did he learn? Does he take dance classes? He should teach dance classes. Yes? Oh, see, I've never had dance classes, unless you count tap dancing in elementary. So amazing.
Okay. All right.
How are you so good?
What?
How are you so good? Where did you learn from?
Here's my story, okay? The first time that I started dancing, I danced in front of my now ex, and like one of my friends, and they told me never dance again. It was just the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh.
And it was like really terrible. And so I had one of those like supervillain moments where I'm like, I am going to become like the world's like, I got so mad that I like practiced every day. Like, and I met a guy who also has a YouTube channel. It's called Take Some Crime. In fact, you might have seen it. He has like a really famous video called Cat Groove. It's like this video of just like a dude dancing in a basement. And like most people on the internet have at some point seen this video. And it's just like him like dancing in a basement. And like I learned a style called Milky Way from this dude. So
it's really good.
Yeah, it's like big movements. I miss disco. and I love swing. Okay, so like, and so like this style of dance is really cool because it's a lot of like big moments. Because I learned hip hop too because when I started taking classes, and hip hop is like tighter. It's a lot like smaller movements, and I really like how big the style is. I like how like expressive it is. So that's the kind of dancing that I decided I wanted to do. And then I also have a background in martial arts. I competed all my life, like since I was like since I started martial arts when I was 4 years old. I did it until like well into my 20s, and so that's where all the like aerials and flips and shit come from. And that's my story.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
really
we could totally do just dance.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be very cool.
Dang, you need to teach me to dance now. You're gonna own Amouranth, and it's gonna go viral. We're gonna make it happen. We'll get all the big streamers to react to it. Be perfect.
Oh, they'll react. they might react. They'll probably react to some of this too. That's the ticket though. That's what you do. If you get talked about, then you're just that's what it is. This is like the person that's like the master of this, and I'll send you this just because I know you're like a stats nerd like me. Like, I will send you. There's an Impulsive podcast that Logan did where he went on Fox Business News, and he did this like he was all like red-eyed, and he was like messed up, and he basically says like my career is over, like I don't know what's happening, I'm on drugs, and like it looks terrible for him.
Mm-hmm.
So Fox Business News does this like huge things like the end of Logan Paul. He goes on Impulsive and he breaks down exactly why he did that. Basically because he felt like he wasn't being talked about enough and he needed some controversy. So he deliberately went and did that interview and he scripted the whole thing. And it generated like 50 headlines, like CNN, like everybody picked it up. Dude, I like
scripted.
It's script. Just
that's funny.
If just get talked about.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's actually the key. Like this culture thrives on controversy and thrives on like weird shit.
And that's, I think, also part of my problem, I feel, is that I don't have control currently in the past over what I've decided to make controversial. I'll just be going about my day and then Reddit decides to blow up the fact that I don't chew as controversy.
You
Stuff
don't
like that.
chew?
Like, that's
Is that
my
a thing?
exposure. People were writing articles on that. Like, I had braces, right? So I didn't chew my noodles, and because I just swallowed them whole because it gets caught, and it's really a big headache. And then they like go crazy, and I'm like, no, I just need to be smarter about like what I purposely script as my own controversy instead of letting other people decide stupid stuff for me.
That's amazing.
I think.
One way to do that is so the answer is both are good, right? So like I didn't get to choose like the whole CEO Andy type of meme. That's my big meme is like everybody will be like. And actually people will game against me too. So I had a bit I did. This is one of the worst ones. I had a bit I did where I was making jokes about how like CEOs can cut in lines because if you go to like a PAX West and you have like a VIP badge, you just like, and I was like making jokes where I like cut past grandmas and like children and stuff like that. But like people clipped it in a certain way that made it look like I was like literally this dude that like Sauron just like cuts grandmas out of the way, like pushes children on the ground so I can get in like through Disneyland and shit. And this
like
got
a
to
bad guy.
Yeah. And this got to like the top of LSF with like 2K upvotes. It's like CEO thinks he's better than everyone else because he cuts in lines. And for months I had like people that are like, oh, this Devin like fucking cut in line because you think you're more important. Like, so you don't get to choose that, but I would take that 100% over not getting talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I would love like keep talking about me because every hater that posts something about me, there's going to be 10 people that are like, oh, who is this guy? And they'll check me out.
Right.
They feed me. They make you stronger. Every one of them.
What can I sell in a jar to get internet virality?
Bathwater?
Like that's already done though. I can't seem like a copycat. I have to find something else now.
I don't know, but there's something like that. Yeah. Amaranth's hair, they say. Like,
no, I don't want people to clone me.
True.
Maybe it has to be something unique. I don't know. Maybe like farts in a jar. I don't know.
I do believe you could sell that. That's incredibly disturbing. Yeah. But I don't know if there's anything that you have that people wouldn't buy.
It's true.
like when I think about like girl streamers like that, you could be like, this is like those shoes back there. I have no idea how old those are or whatever. You could be like, this is my 7-month-year-old shoe. I've worn it, 400 times. It's going up for $150 on eBay, boys. That's just an aspect of like
sell broken equipment like my mouse breaks. Like it's like you're holding my hand. I've used this for so long.
But this is what I don't understand. It's like if this is like the difference between like female and male streamers, right? Like if I literally am like, this is my old shoe that I have from like Land's End, okay? I walk in this 3 miles a day to work, and I've worn it for like, I don't know, at this point, maybe like 70 or 80 days. And also, I stepped on some dog poop like maybe about a month ago, and there's still some like left in there. And like, I put that up for like $100, and people would be like, go fuck yourself, right? Like, no one's going to buy that at all.
Dude, my dog's poop would make my shoe worth more.
Yeah.
It's me and my dog. Some people have told me, like, I want to marry you just so I can have your dog. And I'm like, no, but I'm flattered because he is a good boy. But that would actually make my shoe worth more. Dang. It's good.
There you go. I haven't even seen your dog, I don't think.
He's a border collie. He has an Instagram.
Aren't those really smart?
Yes, he's very smart.
Fucking Lily Pichu's dog is more popular, or Pokey's dog. One of those dogs is more popular than I am on Instagram. It's frustrating.
Oh yeah, I don't post actively on my dog. I'm just too busy. I just post occasionally when I'm taking a shit, but
Okay.
I'll give you.
You're not supposed to tell people you do that, Amouranth.
I mean, when I create rainbow sherbet.
Yeah, when you make
my squatty potty.
When you make music. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is just. Oh, this is the dog.
Yeah, this is the dog. That's
Excellent.
my dog.
I've never seen this. Does this dog appear on stream?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm getting a new one. That's also what I was thinking. Like, I don't know how I could do this, but like, I actually like my main passion is animals, and I'm like, how can I make a Twitch stream that's like consistent, that gets interested viewers and subs based on animals? I'm like, I don't know how to do that without like having like really, really, really scheduled programming, like traveling to different places of people who have like exotic animals and things. I don't know how I would even go about that, if that could even be a possibility on Twitch.
Yeah, Maya did it. That's like one example. Is like that's a person who like did like but that's like a very extreme example. I think what I like to do is like you could take a streamer like that, and then like think about how she did it, and then that would inform your shows. So like for example, you could be like, okay, like there are some like petting zoos and like direct to animal zoos that you could do, and you could do like an IRL stream around that, stuff like that.
My problem with IRL is that I have so many little insecure assholes who like to call and swat places. So I'm always like, yes, I get that almost every stream. So if I show the name at all, or if it's like an obvious location like the zoo, people will swat and call me to try and get me kicked out or like arrested or get in trouble or whatever. Like I have that problem consistently. And so that's another thing where it's like, I would love to like volunteer at shelters and like have their donation link, and so, you know, people can donate to that shelter. But now I'm like, oh, I don't want the shelter to get swatted though. But like, it's just a mess. It's like, how do I do this without risking the animals and the people who work there? You know?
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I think so the answer there, I think, and this might take a really long time, but I think a lot of the toxicity comes from the stereotypes on Reddit, A, and B, the sort of like this whole like e-thought, or however you describe it, stereotype, right? Which is like, like if the perception is like, so the example I would use is like, why is it that a streamer like Hot Chubby can walk around and not have that happen? And that's an interesting.
I don't know what it is.
Well, it's an interesting thought process. I mean, I can tell you, there's a negative perception attached.
The thing is that I don't think it's a big portion. I think it's just a few haters, maybe just one even, who are extremely obsessed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like extremely obsessed.
Is there a way for you to? Do you think you can create? Like you can make like creative content IRL, or do you feel like you're totally stopped from doing that because of this? Because that's not something that I have a lot of experience with.
It would have to be stuff where I'm not dependent on going to other locations. It would have to be like in my home type of things, or like a random like beach or something. You know, like public areas that aren't privately like owned places where they can have a location and address and like send shit to or get you kicked out of. And that really limits a lot of options, you know?
Yeah. That's, I wouldn't let it stop you. Like I would still, I feel like there's a creative way to beat it, but to be honest, I just have no experience with that kind of thing. And that is a both like, honestly, it's just like really fucking terrible.
No, chat's saying place in a squad. No, I have had at least 2 or more places that I've actually just missed because as I'm leaving, police cars show up and they SWAT the place.
Holy shit.
It's actually like, yeah, it's actually a really big, like I even had like officers like come to me and like question me because the place got swatted because of Twitch chat. And like, I've been like questioning my officers and they were like, what does this mean? When I was like memeing about something, like there's like an Abraham Lincoln video online where it's like, oh, now you fucked up. It's like really old. And it's like a meme. And the officers were like, what does this mean? Now you fucked up. Because I said it to my chat. And they were like going through my like 12-hour stream and like analyzing every single thing and trying to question me on that. And I'm like, God, so you didn't send it, you didn't put a bomb threat to this place. I'm like, no, it wasn't like I have no desire to do that. It's like really annoying to deal with people like that, you know? when they'll do that to your stream. So that's kind of also like when I stopped going out doing IRL stuff, and just like last year sometime just started staying at home every day. And I'm like, well, what do I do? You know, because it's like I had hoped to build a program on the future of IRL, and then well, one, Twitch decided to break IRL, and then two, I started getting crazy people like who would try to ruin every stream just because they're, you know, incels, little boys at home who are mad that they can't have girls or whatever their problem is, mommy issues. I don't know. But yeah, it's just really sad that little Twitch chat.
There's see, that's sass right there. That's how you respond if somebody trolls your chat. That was good. That was good. Yeah.
It's like, when do I stop though? I have so many.
Don't ever stop. Just keep going. No, that's I have no idea how to deal with that, because that is like such an insane problem.
It makes IRL not reliable, because like, I could spend all this time going through traffic, get into a location, and then within 10 minutes I could get kicked out because some idiot is obsessed with me.
Is there a way to talk? So like let's say you go to a zoo. Well, this would be so fucked up. You go to a zoo and basically like, hey, a bunch of cops are going to show up in about 30 minutes maybe, and then like, I don't even know how you do that. Like, that's really hard.
It's just like, it's just, and then I just feel so bad, right? Because it's like I caused the inconvenience to these people who are just trying to do their job or have a good day at the zoo. It's just like, ugh.
So
this is why we can't have nice things.
I read chat real quick. How do people like Soda Pop and deal with this? I mean, they don't. They stay in their houses also. Like, here's the problem is like, so I have a story about this. To kind of give an idea or like the context of this. So one day we're at the CLG house. I used to run an esports team called Counterlogic Gaming, and it was like it's like it's like an esports team. And so I was at the CLG house, and Doublelift was streaming. He's like a LCS player, and he had about like 20K people he's streaming. And so the girlfriends of a bunch of players were laying on the floor next to Doublelift, and they're like, "Oh, we should like order a pizza." And so they did, and they ordered a pizza, and then like about 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, doorbell rings. I open the door. It's like got a bunch of pizzas, and they're all cash on delivery. And I'm like, okay,
it's a problem too.
And then about a couple minutes later, another pizza guy shows up, and then on the top of the box it says "Hi Doublelift," because they instructed the pizza guy to write in the box. So now I'm like, what the fuck? And so I go over to the girls and I'm like, what happened? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Like, that's weird. And then I'm like, did you say our address on stream? And they're like, no. Like, more pizzas show up. And I'm like, you said our address on stream. And so in front of 20,000 people, address got leaked. Then while I'm arguing with them, I look outside and it's like really bright. And I'm like, that's weird for 9 p.m. Shouldn't be that bright. So I open the door, and then it's the fucking LAPD, like, do not fucking move an inch. And I'm like, okay. Yep. and then they come in, and so I had a huge conversation with them, and I'm like, how do we stop this? Like, what do we do? And the police literally told me, there is nothing you can do. If we got a call because a bunch of people were screaming.
To check.
Yeah, they have to check. Yeah. So we got a call because a bunch of people were screaming, which of course were gamers. So we're going, oh, like what, like things like that. So the cops wandered around the side of the house, looked in the window, and saw a bunch of people screaming and a bunch of girls on the floor. And they were like, and they were like, and they were about to like fucking straight up like fucking goddamn Navy SEAL shit, like right through the door if I hadn't opened it at that moment. And I was like, I was like, okay, so like, there's nothing you can do about this. This is. They will keep coming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point too where it's like those. I'm sure it's the same haters who call and try and swat the place. They'll like spam in the chat with their little bots, thinking they're really clever and macho and like that they're super cool. They'll spam the location and be like, "She's at this place. She's vulnerable. Someone go kill her." And I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Y'all are psycho." Like, it's like that level of toxicity.
Fuck, man, that's that's totally insane. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to deal with that. I truly don't.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, you can't get rid of those people because they're such no lives that they will create alternate accounts for years just to do that because they're so obsessed and have nothing else going for them that they get off on trying to make your life miserable because it makes them feel less bad that their life is so shitty compared to what they want their life to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, or they hate you for some reason and they're tunneled on it. Yeah, I'm really sorry that's the case. Like I don't think she can, like people that are saying in chat, like, oh, like just talk to the police. Like that's not viable.
All you can tell them is that, hey, this is what I do for a living. So like just check if you get another call like this, you know. That's all I can do, but they still have to show up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You can't go to the local station and be like, hi, I'm a streamer. Like if you like listen, because like think about the logic of this, okay? If I walk into a station and say, like a police station, I go, okay, hi guys. Yeah, you may get a call where there's some people screaming in my house, screaming bloody murder. And, but don't worry, I'm not killing anybody. Actually, it's just my job. And that happens all the time. Do you think the police are going to be like, oh yeah, dude, okay, sure. Like that makes sense. No, if there's a fucking phone call.
Basically, you have to tell them after they do it. Yeah. You have to say like, this is what the situation was. Something else like this might happen again. If you could like check with me before, that'd be cool. Or like kind of know going in the situation, but they still have to show up to your house and make sure, because they don't want to be like a, you know, like they don't want the one time that you actually do need help to be the time they chose not to do anything.
Or what happens if you really are killing people in there, and then like, you know, you're literally Dexter, and then like they're like, oh, that's just Amouranth, like you know, and, like you're carving a body up or something. Like yeah, like they can't do that. Like they have to take everything seriously. So it's just a really weird thing. So this, I still think that there's a lot from Hot Chubby here. I think there's still, because she does a lot of in-house stuff. So I think, so do you go to like TwitchCon? You go to TwitchCon and stuff, right? Did you go to TwitchCon?
Yeah, I did.
Was it fine?
Yeah, it was fine. And like I still got like threats from the same, I'm sure it's the same hater because he has so many. And there may be other people like them. And I had a security guard, and like the security guard even was like, there's somebody with a badge here who says, oh, they want to, it says, where's Amouranth, or like find Amouranth or something. And it's like, we gotta like, you gotta stick with me, blah, blah, blah. It's just like really annoying, the type of people. But TwitchCon in general was okay. And the numbers were okay there too. I think I had like 5,000 to 6,000 viewers, a lot.
Yeah, because I think
so
IRL
the numbers
works for
didn't
you.
drop until like after BlizzCon.
So did you So Trainwrecks also had like a personal security at TwitchCon too, for the same reason, because he got a bunch of threats. So I wonder if like it isn't viable to like schedule things out in a way where like that you could explore that option. But if you look at like Hot Chubby's broadcasts, she has a lot of like at home stuff that she does. So like there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of inspiration in this content for you here.
Yeah. I could take a look at that. Why do you think though that the numbers dropped like after my ban? Do you think there's like an algorithm or something, like if you're not in good standing?
Nope, there's no algorithm, I promise.
Okay.
I think it's
terrible.
No, it would be, yeah. There's
okay.
There's Twitch. I wish there was an algorithm, but unfortunately I can't give Twitch enough credit for that. They don't even have one.
So the only thing that we're thinking is content and then possibly follower deletion.
Yep. I think it's a long term. So again, like by these graphs, content trajectories take a long time to reflect, and the bottom line is do you have like a real name? Do you tell people your real name?
Caitlin, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna call you Caitlin because I'm like
yeah.
I use a real name.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay. So the actual bottom line, Caitlin, is like you just have been doing the same thing for a long time. You've been slowly driving yourself insane with the amount of hours you're streaming. Your content is not innovative because you don't have time to innovate on it.
Right.
And that's what's losing your viewership, literally. And like I'll tell you, I know this intimately. One, because I am this. I've been streaming since 2012, but also because I literally, like, Nerd Fusion runs the talent that is the oldest broadcasters on Twitch. We have Dance Gaming, we have Giant Waffle, Lobos, we have lots of people that are 5 or 6 years old, and they're all struggling through this right now. Every one of them. It's that.
Because it's that feeling. It's like, well, this is working. Don't break something that don't fix something that's not broken.
But the market changes around you,
and then it doesn't work anymore.
Yes.
So it's like. And then you're just like, well, what do I do now? Because this is all I've been doing for the past however many years.
Yeah, you change. Yeah, and that's the thing is like the market changes around you. And so the real sign of like an unbelievable, like if you look at somebody's career that has been like legendary, like Patrick Stewart or like Samuel Jackson, people that have been in the like celebrity space for 30, 40 plus years. If you look at those people and you look at how much they've changed from when they started, it's insane. Because what the audience wants is always changing. And so like if you stay the same, then you're doomed. And like one of the things
my issue is right now. It's because I need a change, but like currently, like the way that I'm doing it, there's no time to work out any scheduled or prepare any different kinds of content.
It is so much
been doing just improv for 12 hours every day.
And it's like it's so much more valuable for you to sit back and take that time to really introspectively think about like what is my content doing. And like also like fuck everything we've talked about, right? Like becoming more of like a personality based broadcaster and all these things. Like I think everything we've talked about is also just like what do you want, right? Like what do you want out of your life? Which is probably a question I should have asked first. But like if you could run the perfect stream and get all the viewers you want, what would it be?
Probably animal show traveling. Kind of like a mixture between like like Steve Irwin where you're with animals and then also like a travel show. So like going places, but I know that's like very impossible to do on a streamer budget unless I collaborate with like a network that wants to stream on Twitch or just move off Twitch entirely and go on to like National Geographic or something.
Yeah, or get sponsored or any number of things.
Yeah.
Like there's all kinds of possibilities, but one of the things I like doing is asking myself absurd questions. So an example of an absurd question is if I wanted to 10x my viewership in the next 6 months, how would I do it? Right? That's a really crazy question. But when you ask yourself really crazy questions, you get crazy answers. So maybe, for example, a way that I could do it is I could do highly produced, collaboration-oriented content. Like maybe I do stuff like Just Dance streams with Amouranth, right? Like that's a way I get 5K concurrent viewers or some insane number, right? Like you think about, or I literally fly to Korea and do like collaboration with Hot Chubby, or I like fly like right, like I could think about explore those options and you can get an answer. So I feel like if you ask yourself these questions, if you even gave yourself a little bit of time to ask yourself these questions, like how would I create a stream that's more like the type of vision that I would have for being a content creator?
The other option that I was thinking of, but again, it's hard to do that with all the swatting stuff and collars, would be to go like on like live rescue missions to like save like stray dogs and like go put them in shelters or like take them to fosters, to like get them off the street. That'd be like a really interesting program, I think,
That's
to work
so cool.
with like other animal rescues. But then like how do you do that without getting collars and swatters and annoying people when you're trying to like do stuff? Because like if you're on the street, there's going to be businesses out, street names, stuff like that. So it's like, how would you logistically do that and not run into problems?
It doesn't have to be live content. That's my first thought. Is it could be like you living these experiences and these dreams. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on Instagram. You can do that and then like you can broadcast that either as reruns, or how about this, right? What if you took like a journey to do that? Again, these things would be better if you had like more time, right? So like if you took a journey to go do that for a day, you film the whole thing on YouTube, you put it up on your new channel that's like Personality You, and then you talk about it on your stream.
Okay. It could be like maybe I'm like with a few dogs, and then like we're just playing with them in the background talking.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I did with that? Like you start off, the content actually gets done, you film it.
Right.
It goes to YouTube, comes back to Twitch. Because you're still there talking about it. And for other viewers on Twitch, that's a new experience. Yes. Yeah. So I think I had to think I love this because it is very rare in my work that I get a new problem. And this is a new problem. The whole if I show up and I like literally you go live stream and go sit on a street corner and you just wait, then the cops will show up. Like that is fucking nuts to me. That is something that I've never.
That's what I do. Yeah. I actually just the reason was recently, a few weeks ago, I was out and I was eating at like a Genghis grill, and the chat people are so salty. The ones who do this, they wait until after I have my food prepared, literally sit down to eat, and then the manager comes out and tells me to leave because they're getting calls. And so then I take my food that I haven't gotten to eat, and I walk across the street, because in the same parking lot, it's all different establishments. I go sit at a Five Guys, and I just sit, like it's after hours, they're closing, and I'm just outside on the patio eating because I need a table, right? And then the callers start calling the Five Guys as they're trying to close, and they call at least like 5 times. And because at first they'll tell the guys, no, just ignore it. They're just callers. Like, I'm sorry. And then they're like, okay, we had to tell you to leave because it's just distracting us from closing. And so then I have to go and like just Uber somewhere else entirely with my food that I don't get to eat for hours because these guys keep calling and ruining my stream and my activities I'm trying to do as I'm streaming live. And so it's like, what do you do in that situation? You know, it's like they just call you everywhere you go.
That is literally the biggest like Pepe hands I've ever heard. Like that story of like I just took my food and sat down, and then I got kicked out. Like, yeah, I mean, is your mentality okay with all this?
Probably not. But at this point, it's like, what do you do? You know, it's like that's the thing. It's like, what do we have to do to fix it? To either find content that I can do, you know, and still grow that's interesting and unique without having these issues. That's the true thing. Because I'm not like a really good FPS player, you know, and like the amount of time it would take for me to learn that skill, I would be so far behind, and my channel would die before I ever become that good. And it's like I'm really good at like I like RPGs like Pokemon, you know, where you can have different voices. I like doing like amateur voice acting on my own where I can read the voices and narrate, and that's kind of fun. But those games don't come out enough to provide a whole year's worth of content. They're not enough of those games, I feel, to be on the top categories of Twitch. They die too often. They die too soon, you know. After most people beat the game, then it's like, well, that's no longer a top category you can grow in. So it's like, how many of those come out? Not that many compared to the FPS, which seem to be the thing that drives numbers and like YouTube content for it. There's just not enough.
I think the like FPS type thing is like a sort of red herring. It's a distraction. Like I think you could do like kind of like if you were gonna do FPS, I don't think people would like want to watch. Well, they would want to watch if you like got really good, but that just the amount of time, like you just said, that it would take to get to that level versus like if you can create a personal. Again, I want to use the word like it sounds really bad when I say it this way, but it's like the girlfriend experience, which is more like, okay, I'm watching you play games and you're positive and you're funny and you're uplifting. Like it doesn't really matter in that way if you're good at the game. If you're playing Minecraft and you're chatting and you're engaging people with that energy, then that will do well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But and then I guess the trick is to like, how do you build up that reputation of like, oh, suddenly Amouranth plays some games. When they just look at Amouranth and like, I don't like her content because all they know is like what I used to do. So it's like, how long does it take to do that? It'll
take you about a year. And here's how you do it, right? So I have a really good friend. His name's Cobalt Streak. For 5 years on Twitch, all he did was play Binding of Isaac. And so he decided that he didn't want to play Binding of Isaac anymore after 10,000 hours, right? Or didn't want to play it as much, which kind of is understandable. And then the question becomes, okay, I've got 4,000 concurrent viewers streaming Binding of Isaac. How the hell do I transition? So his answer was he starts to stream with Binding of Isaac, and then the last hour or 2 hours of his stream out of the 6, he plays a different game. And he gradually taught his viewership to do to get used to it. And now he's at a point where he can maintain his concurrent viewership just playing whatever. That's how you do it.
How long did it take him when you say gradually?
You might not like the answer. I'd say probably 2 or 3 years, around there.
Okay.
But what are you doing anyway? I mean,
I know.
Yeah,
no, like, I'm just curious.
You're gonna be here.
To know when to not give up. You know what I mean? Like know when there's not work. That's also my issue. I think is that I have like that panic mode button where it's like this isn't working. I need to switch after like a day of trying it.
Yeah, that's not good because that's what worries me about your third YouTube channel. Like when you start doing highlights and personality stuff, you might not be like, this is like, because the thing is, the reality is like, okay, if you post like a picture in like a pink bikini or whatever, like you're going to get instantaneous views and you're going to be like, nice, that works. right?
Because I'm used to the instant gratification.
I know, and that
of
worries me
Instagram,
about you.
Twitter.
But you have to back off that, because what's going to win for you is the long-term game. That's what's really going to pay off. Like, that's like, it's you have the ability right now to like just like literally take a picture and get like insane engagement, and that's a tool. But the problem is like your sight on that tool, it blinds you from all the other stuff in the tool shed. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It's like there are other things that are helping long term that you can't determine in the short term, especially because analytics are lagging usually by a couple of months.
Yeah, and plus like long game, you can't win on that anyway. Because eventually you're just gonna be like a 80-year-old lady taking like bikini pics, like
someone will be into it.
Yeah, maybe. Stuff. Yeah, but it might be like a smaller demographic than you want. Like, but yeah, I think like the long game is personality, no matter what. IMO for everybody, right? It's actually it's so a lot of people are gonna like laugh about this and they're gonna troll because it's like 80-year-old lady taking bikini pics. It's exactly the same for someone like Shroud. Okay? Like, at 55, is he going to be fucking crushing out Apex Legends? Probably not. So he's going to have to do something, right? Like everybody has, like, the talent when they're young, you know? Like, for you, it's, like, it's your looks and your appeal, like, physically, a lot of it. For Shroud or Ninja, it's their gameplay. You know, but that's going to, like, when you're 45, 50, like, what carries you? It's personality.
Yeah. Like, I feel like most people like have like a skewed like impression of me just based on like what other people say, or like artists that like paint a weird picture, or, like clips.
What do you mean?
That people choose out of context. Like they assume that Amouranth's like this typical like stuck up popular girl at school. And I'm like, no, I'm actually just a dork who got lucky with puberty. It's like I'm really like socially awkward and just chill and try not to get into drama, and then people just make drama for me where there is none, and I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like,
well,
it's just
so one reason, and this is I think really important too, and this is like something we haven't talked about. If you don't give people a narrative, a story, they will actually make their own about you.
Yeah.
So this is yet another sales point for your personality channel, because if I have nothing to go off of, I'll just make shit up about you, whatever, right? Like whatever comes to mind, and that'll be based off of I'll judge the book by its cover, quite literally, right? So if I go on Twitter and I look for you, in 10 seconds I'm going to have a different vision from who you actually are. I just am, because that's some of the content you do. I know I've been alive long enough to know that isn't you. That there's more to it. A lot of people maybe not. So like the way if you had a highly dedicated personality channel, it's like you talking about subjects, you going and doing these things. Like I went to like that thing about animals. I bet like a huge percentage of people don't fucking know that about you. I never knew that about you.
That's actually like my ultimate goal was to start like a dog and horse rescue ranch that I can have just as like nonprofit, and just instead of having shelters, I can pull them when they're about to be euthanized and just come live on the ranch and get adopted.
I seriously think that if you like I guarantee you, we pull chat right now, that's like cool as fuck. Like that's like a lot of people probably never knew that, and they would be really, really interested to know that. And like talk about that passion.
Yeah.
It'd
be fun. That's why I'm like saving. And like I just want to like that social media to not die. Cause I'm like, no. It's like I have money. I'm not tripping, you know. Like I have enough to like live a decent life right now. But it's like it's not enough to open like a nonprofit organization, you know? Or you won't be getting money, no revenue, your entire life will be dedicated to it. It's like you need a lot for that, like so much.
There are a lot of ways to skin that cat, though. It's kind of a weird phrase for this topic. But what I mean is, like, if you started doing YouTube videos, and you started going to do these rescues, maybe somebody comes along and goes, "Hey, I'm a VC. I want to fund this initiative for you. I'll go in half." And now all of a sudden you have an opportunity. The point is, when you put the content out there and you start telling the story, the opportunities appear. You haven't done it yet because I mean, maybe part of you is afraid of it. Maybe like you're afraid to.
It's not afraid of the content change. It's afraid of like the schedule, I think, and the output rate change. I'm not afraid of like changing the subject itself. It's just that like the mentality I have to get out of it, that this isn't going to work anymore. You know, it's like, no, this worked before. Like,
Yeah.
this schedule was working and now it's not. And I'm like, I've worked so hard. It's like that kind of thing where I just have to learn to adapt.
Yeah. But like, so do you feel like, what is holding you back from like doing that sort of thing? Like going once a week, filming it on YouTube and doing like the rescue thing?
Probably just the fear of like losing what I have gained on Twitch as far as like like subscribers and stuff go. Like, I really wish Twitch would change it, and I know why they don't. They do want people to stream as much. They want content constantly. I wish they would change it though to where they have subscribers get the alerts to their emails or wherever to renew their subscription the first of the month or have it on auto pay, and then the rest of the month streamers can have a life if they need to and not be so stressed out about it, and just one day everyone's sub like, you know, renews on the same day, so they don't have to worry about like, how am I going to lose today? It's like, oh, I better stream every day the last few days of the month.
Yeah, I mean,
that would be so much better for the streamer's sanity, but I don't know if Twitch would ever want that.
They can't because of the way the billing cycles work. But the thing is, like, I mean, even if it was, you would still be losing those subs. You just wouldn't have the perception of it. This is a mental game, right? Like you looking at your stats and stuff like that. So this entire stream, I have no idea how many viewers I have. I deliberately never look, right? Because if I did, I would go insane. I only look on 1 week intervals. I might have two, and chat knows not to tell me. This chat probably doesn't know, but I go super neurotic if I know, because the bottom line is like, I want to be creating the same amount of content for 100 people that I'm creating for 10,000. Right? That's my KPI. So I think you can mentally game yourself into oblivion with stats. Like if you're like I know a couple of people that are like, okay, I have like 1,500 concurrents right now. Oop, I just went down to 1,450. Why'd that happen? And they're thinking about that on their show. No, don't do that. Yeah. Hide those views and then focus on creating the best content possible. 100%. You will go insane. More insane than you're already going.
Oh, I think that's part of why I am insane, is that's all I've been doing for 3 years. Is that, and then mixed with chit chat, and then constantly like having so much people hate me for no reason because they don't actually know me. They're just assuming. And then it's like,
yeah. So like, if we
having to explain yourself all the time, or like
and not having any personality channel to do it. Like, look, okay, let's take an analogy here. Okay, let's say, all right, hi, what's your name? Oh, my name's Caitlin. Okay, hi, Caitlin. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put you in a box, and every time you leave your box, we're gonna call the police, so you have to go back in your box. Meanwhile, everyone is gonna shout at you from within your box. Outside, there's gonna be thousands of people that shout at you every day about various things: how you look, how you act, and the way you chew your noodles. And sit here and do that for 3 years for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
No one in their right mind would take that deal. Just get a job at Amazon or something. Like, fuck that. Like, do whatever else, dude. Like, that's like a crazy, like when you think about it in that way, right? Like, this is why I'm saying, like, you should, you gotta think about, you gotta think fundamentally about how you've structured your life, which is not the conversation I expected to have, but that's the conversation we're having. Like in terms of your number of streaming hours, in terms of the way you approach content, yes. And there are some things that have come from this talk that are like super objective you can do right now that will like open up your Discord to the public, run less reruns, stream earlier, right? Those are things you can do. But I really do believe in my heart of hearts that the number one thing you need to do is reduce your hours. And I believe that, like, I think everything that a streamer has is their mental game. All you are on this show is what you bring to the table. It's your mental. If you're fucked up here and like you're getting fucking swatted and like people are like saying bad shit about you and you're doing that 12 hours a day and you're like improving and trying to come up with plans, you can't show up for these people in the same way. Versus
I can't even show up for myself. Like, honestly, sometimes I feel like I don't have a personality too, and like I'm like, why am I so like at all? It's like because also the diet too, because I had my braces for like a year. It's like I have been eating like potatoes and mac and cheese and cookie dough, and it's like combined with my lifestyle, I'm like, in my lack of sleep, I'm like, am I a human anymore? I don't know. Somebody tell me. It's just like constantly like I think I am just going crazy a little bit.
Yeah, and you say it in kind of like a joking way, but this is actually like really this is really bad. you need to seriously like think about this and like I do think that therapy is like a really good thing too, by the way. Like I go to therapy, like I literally just did a live therapy session with a Harvard psychiatrist a week ago or 2 weeks ago on my stream, and that was hard as fuck. Where he like basically told me that my sense of perfectionism is because of my parents, and I was like, oh fuck, and I had like an existential crisis on stream. So like I get it like a little bit, but I'm saying like you're saying this like you're conscious of it, but I don't know if you really own it. Like this is really true for you.
Yeah, like I'm conscious about it, but I'm like so scared of like taking time off, I guess, to do something about it that I just kind of like hope that nothing happens and that it keeps growing, and then now it's like not, and I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah, and life
never. It's like I'm already insane, and now what I'm doing isn't working too.
Yes, life never works that way though, right? Like life forces you to change because it changes for you. Like change is going to happen. Doesn't matter if you are want it or not. So now the reality is you can do what you told me in DMs, which is jump on an icicle and sail off into the sunset and the sort of the fadeaway, right? Or, you know, you can really look to change yourself, be introspective about it, and be like, I'm going to fucking step it up and be better than ever. And the choice is yours. Like, there are a lot of streamers who started 3-4 years ago that are going to fade into irrelevance in the next year or two. Promise you.
Yeah.
A lot of streamers. And they're going to do it because of this. They're gonna keep doing the content they did before, and because it's easy, and because it's familiar, and the people are gonna move on.
Yeah, because it feels safe. The things that you're doing, it's like that's your comfort zone, and then suddenly it doesn't work, and you're like, this is all I've been doing for so long. How do I learn to adapt again?
Yes.
It's like rebuilding in a way, and it's scary because it feels like shitty inside, but you have to do it or else you're gonna lose everything.
Yes, it's literally terrifying. I mean, think about how like truck drivers feel, where it's like some fucking guy from Silicon Valley is coming along and be like, within 10 years, I'm going to build a thing that drives itself. And then they're like, well, all I've ever known is how to drive a truck.
Right.
What the fuck and I'm 50. What am I going to do? Right? Like this is a very common problem in the world. It's just it's hyper speed because that's what content is. Right. YouTube and Twitch is just hyperspeed. Everything is sped up.
Yep, it's just an issue that you can't control, and it just happens all the time. Technology changes, another platform opens up, people leave platforms, people decide they want to see something else.
Yeah, and there's two ways. Like this kind of to me can sound depressing, like where it's like, you know, but actually, like for me, it was inspiring. So because I did this, right? So like 2018, I'll give you like the short of it. Like, so I was in a relationship for 13 years. Okay. Long time, right? It exploded. I sold everything, gave away everything that I owned, and I wandered the earth for a while, stayed with some friends, you know, just like thought about my life. And this is after I sold my second company. And like, I just wandered around for a while. And it was like horrible, and I didn't know what to do with my life. A friend named Matt, who runs a company called Nerd Fusion, which I work at now, he literally pulled me up and said, "You're not done yet. Like, move to Seattle. Like, you know too much to like just be a fucking hermit or like a wandering monk or whatever the fuck I was planning on doing, you know." And so I get here, and then I start doing my Twitch content again the same way I've always done it, just playing video games, and it didn't work. You know, like people weren't interested. Like I would stream games to 50 viewers. And one day I was like, you know what? Like I could keep doing this. And I watched my friends. I have a lot of friends that I started streaming with in 2012, and they're sitting at 40, 50, 60 viewers. They used to be at 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And they say, oh, the times, you know, Twitch is tough now. There's whatever excuse, you know. Truth is, they didn't sit down and innovate on their content and be like, how do I be unique in this ecosystem? What do I do?
Right.
I did that, and it was the most inspiring thing I fucking did. I fucking love my life now. Because, oh, dude,
that's awesome. Good for you, though. Like, that's really good.
I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying that to impress upon you that you can do this.
Yeah.
That is literally your future.
Gives me hope. Because I was actually hoping that it was just like a content thing, because then I can do something about it rather than like Twitch changing to where I'm just fucked, you know? Because then it's hopeless if like that's a thing. But if I can change, it's actually really good, and I'm motivated more to.
Yes, you can. Zizarin, thank you so much for the host, my man. I love you, dude. Like you 100% can. For everybody that is just joining us, I am talking to Amouranth, and we are going over, I guess, kind of like long-term content creation. If you Zizarin is a long-term friend of mine, Path of Exile broadcaster. He's just coming from ExileCon. I thought he was actually at ExileCon, so I don't know. But he's a very good friend of mine, one of my favorite people. They just rated us. But yeah, like it's also that there are people in this category that are dealing with the same thing. You're not alone, right? Like most of the streamers at this company have the same exact thing.
Yeah. And I just never know who to talk to, because it's like I'm not very well networked with other streamers.
Well, you've got one.
Because yay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I also think for just in my experience, it seems to me that most of the streamers just don't even like they just sort of exist in like a, I don't know how to describe it. The number of streamers I know that focus on stats and actually like focus on like growth and think about this, it's like so small. Yeah. Most of them just like float around in like a weird like void.
Yeah, because you think about it, like all like people name streamers, so it's like, oh, I know all these streamers. Think of how many more millions or thousands, I don't know, that you've never heard of, because they don't do the same things.
Yeah, they're in a completely different category. They're doing like Twitch things or something like that. But I think like I mean that's another thing that you can think about. And also, by the way, like one of the fastest ways to change your perception is collaboration.
Yeah, I never know who to collaborate with.
Hot Chubby, 39 Daft, like start looking at looking at LSF streamers and be like, these are people that I think I could talk to. Talk to people you would never talk to. Talk to people that are like, fucking talk to Trainwrecks, talk to Mizkif, talk to people that are like people that are like you would never speak to. And like if you want to change your perception, like you go in there and then like show them who you are, and like it'll change. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, do you know anyone who can do like highlight editing or like sponsorships? Anyone you could like hook me up with or connect me with to talk to about that? Like I briefly.
Well, those are two totally separate things.
both of those things. Yeah. I briefly saw like your next QC exchange on the Train podcast.
Oh, about YouTube?
Yeah, and it was just like
I wasn't offering to do that. I was like, I just wanted him to not give away 60% of his income to YouTube. That was what was going on there. Yeah,
I thought that was a really high percentage too. But I mean,
it is.
You know.
Well, I don't usually do this. But there is this company called there's these nerds there, and it's kind of a fusion of nerds. And we call it Nerd Fusion. And it does represent talent. So if you wanted to talk about that later, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, that'd be good.
Yeah, because that's a thing we do. I really don't like advertising that because it makes me sell out Andy if I do. And I promise you, I have absolutely no intention of like. The bottom line is like we have a full production studio. We do like video on demand content, live stuff. I don't need to sign a single person. Like I only do that if we find someone that's like really interested and like really wants to be. It's a conversation we can have. Yeah.
Okay.
If not, there are people within my community that I can like reference your way for video, but there are also sponsorships is like purely a talent agency thing. I mean that we do very well. But like I think like for video editing stuff, I can also teach you how to do that too. Like how to find those teams and do that stuff. It's like not too hard.
What kind of sponsorships do you think I'd be eligible for? Because I find that I'm hard to get sponsorships for just because of the type of off-platform content I create.
Can I ask you a question you don't have to answer? It's important to answer that question. I can stress you do not have to answer this question. Do you do full nude content?
No.
You don't, ever?
Not right now. I mean, maybe if Twitch keeps declining.
No, don't do that. Okay, like, but it's important to answer. So, like, do you do Do you have content like that out there?
No.
Okay, so then in that case, you would actually be open for a way more sponsorships than you probably think.
Oh, okay.
Because that small difference is the line.
Okay.
Like if you're doing full nude content, it would be so hard to sell you.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Like I don't. But if you're doing content that you're doing now,
well, then I'm glad we're having this conversation before everybody left my stream. That's.
Don't do porn.
no, I'm just kidding.
It can only okay. Good.
I don't want to, but
yeah, it's not gonna help. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna. Yeah, it's a bad idea. It's a short-term boost in income but long-term not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
That's what I've always thought too.
That's it's like, correct.
Yeah. As much, and this is as much as guys say they want it, you know, it's like once they see it, it's no longer a mystery and they'll leave.
Maybe it's not my area of expertise.
There's like there's sexy stuff, but not nude stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know like how deep down the rabbit hole that gets. That's like. But I would not do nude. I realize right now I am dashing the hopes of many 100 of young prepubescent boys. But Amouranth, I would not do full nude content. I think it's not good. Yeah,
my dad gave me very good advice growing up, or not even intentional advice, just indirectly. Because there was a Victoria's Secret commercial on, and I was like, "Why wear that? Don't you guys get like take your clothes off anyways?" And he's like, "Sometimes." It looks better with clothes on. It's better sometimes with some clothes on. And I'm like, oh.
So he remembered that.
Yeah. Like,
Caitlin will remember this.
It's not as disappointing.
Yeah, there you go. So I would not resort like to going down that path. And honestly, it's like any hope you would have of like building like a personality and like a close-knit community goes out the window with that. And also the bottom line is it just doesn't sell as well either. Mm-hmm. You'll make money off of people buying it, but that won't be as much money as being relatively PC.
Yeah,
there are people.
It also gets throttled even more on social media.
Oh, you would be done. Yeah. That's like where you're really done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like excommunicado. That's some John Wick shit. Like you don't want to do that. Yeah. So like there are people that I think are actually way higher brand risks on this platform that have sponsors, and they're not higher brand risks because of what they show. They're higher brand risks because of what they say, and they still get huge sponsorships. So that is something that I would not worry about. The number one reason you probably don't have sponsors is simply because you just haven't thought about the outreach or outbound or had somebody like that actually does that. Yeah. It's not because of your brand. It's not because of what you sell.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. That's it's not that
there's hope for me.
There definitely is. It's just like it's just like I don't know. One of the things that I'm going to watch you like in the future, like the next. Yes, I realized how that sounded. I'm going to. God damn it! All right, like I am going to. I'm going to see how much of this that you take away. If you just do,
I'm definitely going to try it.
20% of this, it's going to change your life. And if you do it, like, but the number one thing is like, take a day off. Actually,
just go find meditation practices and become one with nature again.
Anything. You could just stare at a wall, play with your dog, read a book, do run in circles. Anything is better.
Naruto run, it's fine.
Yes.
Through the forest. Perfect.
Yeah. Your mental health matters. Like, no one can. Dude, like, you can, and like, it's so funny that like you watched my videos, but you didn't watch the video that's about you. Because I do a video that's like, there's people in my chat that are, this is the context of the video. There's people in my chat that are arguing about you, and they're like, "Oh, Amouranth just so easy. Literally go on and show bobs and then get views." And I'm like, "Dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, this chick outworks everybody, right? Like,
it's not that, yeah."
Yeah.
There's lots of girls who are showing boobs who don't have viewers. There
Exactly.
are lots of men too who are showing boobs who don't have viewers.
Yeah. Like I can go in the just chatting category right now and I can go find plenty of really good looking chicks that have 30 viewers that are just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't that. And so like that. And by the way, I created that video like 2 or 3 months ago. So I've been aware of your work ethic for a long time, and I really do champion it. But it's the literal phrase. Like I admire you for it, I really do. But like, work smart, not hard. Seriously.
Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's like I need to figure out how to do this better with less work because I can't work more. You
cannot work more, and even if you did, it won't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I stream, so I cut my show in half. I lowered my show time by 4 hours a day, and I increased 1 hour of prep. Net gain 3 hours.
Did you do that immediately, or did you like change it over time?
I did it immediately, but that's because I only know how to do that. And it was also because I had hit a like rock bottom point where it was like I was streaming like They Are Billions to like 50 people, and I was like, okay. Like enough of this, right? Like, and I literally like was like, we're not playing video games on this stream anymore. We are now doing this, and everyone was like, oh shit. And then I just like forced it. But you just have to be aware that like the question I would ask you is like, are you prepared to not make income for 3 months if you make this? Like, if you're gonna,
fortunately, this isn't my only source of income. So for me, it's like I'm already making like 50% less just with the viewer and sub hit, from I guess using followers or whatever. If we're just deciding that's probably the most likely answer of the sudden dropping just suddenly over a few weeks rather than just gradually, because even the gradual decline of this year
doesn't justify it. It was literally an 1,000 concurrent viewer loss. I looked at it. Yeah, that's a follower problem. It's also it's also a content problem because because follower problems are exponential. Right.
The content problem I have hope about because it's something I can do. The follower problem, I don't know if I can think about that one.
But it doesn't matter. So if you take away what you know now and you change your content, you could have 0 followers and you'll be huge. Because content is all
outgrow it.
Yeah, content's all there is.
Yep.
Yeah. Like that's all there is. That's the game. Like if you get that, you get everything.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Was anything else you guys analyzed, or is that like I don't want to take up all your time. I know
No, today this is my show. Like you are my show, so it's totally fine. There is one more thing. It is a recommendation for your the Patreon side of your business.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I was beginning to say it before. It's get a phone number.
Oh, it's so to send out like announcements or alerts or whatever.
So lately, did you see Ninja do this?
No.
So Ninja has a thing where chat. If you can find this for me, I'd be very appreciative. It's Ninja's community page, or Gary V's page. Find it because I have to show her to tell her what this is. I know his Twitter has his phone number, but I need his page. Okay, there is a page. It should be, it's community.com, but I don't know how to find, maybe it's community.com/ninja. my.community.com/ninja. Hang on. Sorry, this is important. Damn it. Wait, I'm dumb. Okay. my.community.com/ninja. I did it. I fucking did it. Okay. Look at this. So what this is this is a company where they will generate a mobile phone number for you. Okay. And then basically this is the scheme. Ninja says, hey guys, I've got a phone number. I want you to text me. I will send you a few of you all text back. There'll be some giveaways, whatever. And then that's how this works. So you basically like text, I don't know, some percentage back, however many you really want. Okay. But people sign up for your phone number, and now you literally have the most powerful marketing message you're right in their phone. For
That's
you,
gonna be also funny IRL if I'm on the stream and some guy asks for my number and I give him that one. Then
that's actually super fun. Yeah. This is one of the I think this could make you more money than all the other stuff you have going on. Because what you do is you go, okay, here's one. All right. I know how you get signups right away. So just be like, if you sign up for this, a few of you guys will get pictures from me personally. And then bam, a bazillion signups. Okay, now you've got that. You got your bazillion signups. You do a text message push out. Like, to do them every occasion, like just do like a push where you, because this website allows you to message everybody, right? So you go, hi guys, how you doing? Like, maybe this is something I'm doing. And then next month or next 2 weeks, you do a special. Like you do a photo shoot or like a set of like 15 photos, charge, and then send the call to action to the text. You see how this would work?
Yeah, it's for everything basically. Yeah,
that you will make a stupid amount of money. You will make a ridiculous amount of money doing this, and it's personal to them, right? It's directly in your demographic. It's personal to them. It is like direct. It is like direct to their phone. It's like their girlfriend is texting them,
right?
Which is like awesome for someone that's like just like in a basement. Think about this very carefully. This is interesting. This is big money.
Good to. I mean, I could try, right? Doesn't hurt to try.
Like a lot of the stuff that hang on, we've got a.
It's the same guy who does everything that I talk about today.
It's okay.
He's obsessed. Old supporter, butthurt. Happens.
We got the we're working on
literally obsessed. Right. It's kind of funny, like how many of my haters are ones that like wanted special treatment, and then like I didn't give it to them, and I actually ended up banning them, and then they come back and are obsessed and throw shade and troll and whine and bitch. There's a lot.
I got it. It's okay. yeah, it's good. They're on it. I don't know why I had followers only chat on that didn't have followers only chat on this. Fretful winner, holy shit, why? Jesus, holy moly, man. Thank you very much. Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a lot for this stream. Thank you so much, man.
Good job.
Yeah, that just made our day. Made my day.
Thank you.
Thanks. You get the double thank you, the thank you from Amouranth as well. Yeah. Fretful, thank you so much, man. You know, I have like a Hall of Fame for my Twitch stream.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, everybody that gifts subs like that, or if you gift over 5 subs or anything, you go to the Hall of Fame.
It's awesome.
Yeah, you just go you go here, and then so Fretful winner will be.
Stream Element should make a widget for that.
Right? Fretful, you are crazy, dude. Thank you so much. That is insane.
Also, regarding like the Patreon stuff, do you think that the fact that I do Patreon would make what I'm gonna try to do on Twitch, like change content, etc., would that make it harder? Like, do you think they'll judge me for that, or do you think it doesn't affect it really? Like, there's too much scale for it to matter.
Doesn't matter. So let me ask you like a brand question. Like, do you, and I promise you there's no like judgment here, like, because I think that's probably pretty clear after, like, but like, do you want to continue doing the sexy oriented content like for your foreseeable future? Is that just something
I want to continue doing Patreon just because it's like it's something that I relatively enjoy, I guess. Like I used to want to do like Victoria's Secret modeling when I was younger, but then I found out, you know, as you grow up that you can't do that if you're short. So it's oh
really?
Well, now it's you have to be like 5'8", 5'9". And
wait, how tall are you?
Tiny, 5'4".
Really?
So yeah, no, I don't have a future in that.
You seem like super tall.
People say that. I think it's just because I'm thin and I have long arms and legs.
Got it. Okay.
I'm really tiny, but yeah. So basically, to me, like I thought it was kind of weird that the internet perceives it differently. That like hot girls, you know, doing like swimsuits or lingerie stuff is like it's just like modeling, you know, and like people glorify Victoria's Secret angels or like on the runway, like oh they're like celebrities, they're so cool, and everyone wants to get to know them. And they see a girl doing it by herself, taking the initiative to be an entrepreneur online, and they're like, oh slut.
Yeah.
But like, what what is the difference here?
It's culture. It's gaming culture.
And it's like, what is that? I don't know.
No, it's exactly. It's like supermodels don't get. I mean, they get it to an extent, but not even close to like the same thing that women get, like that do it online. Yeah, I totally understand. I don't think the Patreon will affect your direction on Twitch. If anything, like to me, it's like an upsell. So like if you start with a here's what I would say, right? You want customers who invest in you, personality first instead of looks first.
Right. But the look should be like what brings them in, but not what makes them stay. Like as
no,
a
I think
basis.
it's this. I think it's time for MS Paint. Hang on. So let's say you have a base level customer here. Okay, this is customer 1, and I know it takes a little bit of time to reflux, so I'm gonna draw some stuff. So this is customer.
There's a way to bring people in. Other than that, oh, this is exciting. Let's pay attention, chat.
Okay. You're playing it hard. Okay, so this is like personality driven content. Okay, and then you move this up, and this converts over to. So this is the type of content, and this is the people that come into this, and then this is the person that stays. So like stays for events, personality. And then this goes to I think this is how it looks, and I'll tell you why. So I think have you ever like heard of like sales funnels? The way they work is like this. I love funnels. Looks like an ice cream cone. So a person gets sucked into the top here, and then this like initial big funnel is like the hook, and then they get driven down into like whatever your call to action is. So the bottom line is like right here, this right here, this is your the end of the funnel is your Patreon, because that's what makes you money. And then your Twitch and your YouTube and your stuff like that, those do make you money as well. But like basically like your products that you sell are going to be.
Oh, your head's blocking the bottom.
Oh, is it? Okay, hang on.
Yeah. We see per, and that's is that per something.
Yeah. So how it would work? Yeah. Now you're running the stream for a minute. So wait, no, you're not. Now you are. Okay. So the personality driven content I think is actually the hook. This is a change from what you're doing now, because right now the looks and the pictures is the hook. That's what so personality driven content is the hook. People stay for the events you do, the personality that driven content, and then it actually. So then the people that are in this category that then want to move to like Patreon pictures, intimacy type stuff. I want to see her on that level. They then basically convert into that. Do you see the difference though between what you're doing now versus that?
Yeah, I'm starting at the top, but I should start at the bottom.
Yes, exactly. 100% right. Yeah, I think that.
So how do you market the bottom though? Like, how do you get people to click on that?
So that goes back to everything we've been talking about today, right? That's cooking streams, that's events, that's things like Hot Chubby was doing. That's like stuff with your dogs. That's special. Like it's you. It's like what makes you you? Playing instruments, drawing, things like that, right? Like think about dating a person. Right? Like, how do you start dating a person? Okay. Like, we live in kind of
look at their pictures and swipe right.
Yeah, but that's like super fucked. And that's not how you date a person. That's how you fuck someone, right? Like that's like that's if you want to fuck someone, you look at their pictures and then you swipe right? But if you want to get to know a girl and spend a lot of time with her, you start with her personality.
See, I didn't know that when I first signed up for Tinder and I was looking for a relationship, and I didn't know what DTF means, and everyone kept asking me that, and I'm like, is that like Dallas? No, I'm in Houston.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I met my girlfriend on Tinder. I just passed my 1-year anniversary with her, and she's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like you never know. Like, I mean, I swiped right not only because I liked the pictures, because she was a global elite in CS:GO and Diamond Overwatch. So there you go. Yeah.
Did she have that stat on her profile?
What's that?
Did she have that stat on her profile?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
So I swiped that shit instantly, man. So
that's what you guys are doing wrong on your Tinder profile. You got to put your game high score.
Yeah, just put your highest game stats.
Tags.
That's all you got to do.
You'll find your nerd waifu then.
It works, and like, yeah. So like, you're right though. Like, I think like, and that's the thing. Like, I think your entire dynamic changes. Like, if someone comes in and is like, and your hook is like, okay, check out this like super sexy Twitter picture. Well, then you're getting a person who is coming in from the top of that funnel. And that person's interactions with you, their attitude, the way they treat you is all different. But if you come in from the personality side, that the reverse is true. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I just said is really important.
Yeah, because I can be like a super chill person, but if they come in judging from the top part, they're not going to stick around long enough or be open-minded enough to see the personality, I guess.
No, of course not, because all they want is to either get off or to like talk to you about getting off. Yeah.
Release their idiocy onto the world.
Yeah, you're literally just like a beacon for their like insatiable teenage horniness. Like that's all. That's like that versus like creating a personality driven thing, which is like somebody comes in and goes, oh, like, who are you? And then you're like, well, I'm this person. I do art. I do rescue. I love dogs. Like I do this kind of stuff. And they're like, oh, that's cool. I like dogs too. And then there's like, will you be my friend? And then it's like, and then like they become your friend. Then they stay because your personality is there and you're doing all these events. And then they're a part of your community. And then they have that attachment to you. And you've literally created a tribe. That's what you do.
Can that be done with cleavage, or do I have to reform and go buy new clothes?
It can. Yeah, because you can totally do it, because you're gonna get so the answer is like you're still gonna get the inbound from people that are like, right. Oh, Bob's.
I feel like just because of the amount of following that I have, I would get that regardless of
you're already,
because I've done that.
Yeah, just keep going. It's like you're on a roll. Like it's fine. Like it doesn't require but like there is something to be noted. Like I don't think I've ever seen Hot Chubby wear anything revealing. Right? Like she just doesn't. And the percentage of people in her, like, it's really weird. You go into her chat and it's like, there's not like a single person that's like, you know, like there's not a single like person, like there's a couple like kind of like you're like, there's no like show feet people, you know, like there is. Yeah. And I do think that's like a big part of it is like how she chooses to present herself. So you can expect to always get that. But what I'm saying is like, let's say that you're going to get 10 viewers. Okay. And right now, like 9 of the 10 are all like show Bob's show feet people. Yeah. What if you could?
Do you think it's necessary to moderate those types of people too, like strictly, or do you think like it doesn't matter and it won't affect how much people want to stay? Like, does the chat's toxicity level depend if people want to stay in your stream or not? Whether they like you?
It's highly dependent. Yes, especially with female streamers. That we have data on that. So like I think it matters a lot. If you allow that kind of commentary in your community, then other people will think it's okay. Okay. And one way that I like to do this for a lot of bigger broadcasters is I try to set up moderators who are going to be the kind of personality that I want in the chat. So the job of moderators is not to ban people. They can do that. But the job of moderators really is to represent the types of people and things you want said in the chat, because people will look to those authority figures to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, my problem is usually my mods are too busy banning that they don't actually get to talk much.
I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Eventually, they just stopped moderating and started to play World of Warcraft when Classic came out.
Yeah, that's not good. Get new ones. Yeah. Get more mods.
No, I started it and I was like, yeah, all the mods play with me, and now I don't play. Still playing.
No, not good. Yeah.
Nah, they still try. It's just a lot in my chat. It's a lot.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can. Did you have like a moderator community, like where you have like a mod chat on like your Discord or anything with that? Like.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah, so that's good. So like you can always invite more people. I mean, this is obviously an easy problem to fix, right? But the point is like using that previous example, you had 9 out of 10 viewers that are like show Bobs. If you could get down to 5 out of 10 and like The other 5 are, oh, who's this girl? This is interesting. That train of thought. You get there,
right,
and you're gonna kill it.
Okay. So regarding Twitter though, like, are you saying like don't start at the top of this graph? Like tweets can't be sexy, or
well, a lot of what people do is they have a not safe for work Twitter and a safe for work Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. So people like that are so the porn stars that are, these are like people that actually do porn, like they do a Twitter that's like their personal Twitter, and you'll never get anything. It's just their thoughts, and then they do a Twitter for their brand. And that way people can choose which to follow.
Okay. So the thing would be to set up another YouTube channel for, the highlights and reactionary content.
I think that's really important. Highlights, reactions.
Separate Twitter.
Yeah.
Separate Twitter too. Okay.
Yep. And I would not stop doing any of the, if you don't want to, any of the modeling or sexy stuff you do. Like don't listen to anybody.
Like that would alienate like my entire audience I've built up.
But also there's also just no point. Like that's a legitimate. It's a legitimate part of your brand. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like
it's a legitimate business.
Yeah. So, yeah. It actually is. Like and like if it's working, like the only reason I would tell you to stop doing that is if it wasn't working. But it works fine. Like there's nothing wrong with it. All of the growth issues and things that you that you're struggling with right now have nothing to do with that side of your business. It's all about the content you're creating live on stream. So like you can keep doing all that stuff, and you should, and you should keep focusing on that brand, and like if you've got that edge and that strength, like just use it. It's great. Yeah. So don't listen to anybody that tells you not to do that. I think the addition to it is to start marketing from this funnel up, and to ask yourself how you're going to do that with prepared shows and less streaming hours.
Right.
Yeah. Because the bottom line is like you could potentially do like 4-hour just like modeling streams like you do on YouTube, on Twitch. The problem with that, right, is that like Twitch will just not allow the content at this point.
Yeah.
So you have to do something.
Like I would have to go to the bathroom and change and then come back like, this is the outfit I got. And then like the AFK, would it be an issue? Yeah, not workable on stream.
So I think the answer is highly personality-driven content on Twitch. And I think that it's less hours. And you can use those hours to focus on building your brand on YouTube in that way. And also, by the way, but there's probably a lot of stuff you want to do for your modeling and for that side of your business that you can't do because you stream 12 hours a day.
Yeah. Exactly.
So if you cut that time in half, and then and then the time you do spend is preparation with personality-driven content, you're gonna kill it.
Okay, well that's encouraging though. It's good.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like I can get some back and
somewhat
get healthy again, some mental sanity back.
Yeah. I hope so, because like the truth is you're. And listen, like I'm super proud of you. Like you work harder than almost anybody on this platform, and it shows. And it's one of the reasons you're the top percentage of people on the platform, and why I've used you in so many case studies for success. But I do think you're driving yourself crazy. I think anybody would be, given your schedule. And I think that if you sit back and you think about this, you will literally do like 2 to 3x more with that as much less work.
Yeah.
And it will be like, and also it's just like an opportunity for you that after like 3 years, like kind of coming out of a cave and like maybe doing something that like you're really passionate about. Like I love this with rescuing animals. I want you to explore that more on YouTube. And like
really cool.
Yeah, and like embrace your passions and like get into it. And then I think more than anything, if there's any takeaway, like show people who you really are, because you're an interesting person. Like you have a lot to offer.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to do that.
I think you
can. It
seems
like the Twitch thing is just so hard to like do if you're streaming all the time, because then you can't prepare anything.
Well, you can't do anything. Yeah.
Breathe, work it out, make it happen.
There's only 24 hours in a day. You can't do all of it. So yeah. So I hope I hope it's helpful. I hope these are some things.
It is. No, it really is. Thank you. I appreciate you talking. Like you should be charging people for this. Just don't charge me. But
I do. I usually do charge people for this, but Yeah, like so I'm normally this is normally like $500 an hour.
Oh dang.
But
Jeez.
the reason why I take so my whole thing is like the reason why it's $500 an hour is because I want people to be committed and I want them to change, right?
Yeah.
With you, I have been interested in your stream for a very long time and your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to help you from like a human level. Like I wanted to come in and like I just think that you're a person that is like I think you're trying to do a lot of good and I really want you to succeed.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't get a lot of help from people who want to help me on a human level. Usually they want to help themselves.
I understand.
Thank you.
That's why I'm here. Yeah. And
bless ups in the chat.
And I'm still here, right? So like just message me or like I don't so my problem is I don't really know how to get in contact with you in a way that like 300 zillion other people don't get in contact with you. Like do you have DMs open and shit like that? Like
yeah, Twitter. I have Twitter.
Do you actually
I don't
if your DMs are open though, you get like 300 messages a day, so it's like whatever.
No, I can message you.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't want to tell chat. I don't want them to have clips.
What? Wait, what does this mean?
No, it's nothing bad. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
fine.
we'll figure that out. But like literally, if you have any doubt about like how your stream is going or things like that, like message me anytime.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. And
okay.
if you ever want to collab or anything, message me too. We can do cool shit.
Okay, let me make sure this is right. Yes, okay. There. I just want them to have ammunition.
Oh, wait, what is that? Is that like how to okay.
Yes,
yeah.
that's how to contact me.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. So yes.
Carry your pigeon. Send an owl. That's the post office. That's all it is.
It's a Harry Potter
a
Harry Potter thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Also okay, got it. Let me also do this because I don't want that. Hang on one sec. I know we've been talking a long time. Any more questions or anything you were wondering, or are we good? Or
I don't think so. I think I covered everything.
Yeah, that was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I was a lot of questions. But yeah, I'll try not to. I'll keep the not running VODs for like a month or two, and then try the other things too. Try to start planning stuff. Gotta get my kitchen fixed.
Your kitchen?
I don't have any. Yeah, I don't have any pots or anything for it.
Because all you eat is noodles?
Yeah, all I eat is microwave food for the past year, and I've lived here for a year. So yeah, I have never used my stove or my oven or anything.
Holy shit, okay.
I know, I'm actually a degenerate. I'm on the computer for 12 hours and I eat microwave food. And I read chat, which is degrading most of the time or deleted. So that's probably why I'm insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So we're gonna work on that. How about we do this? Let's do a follow up in like we'll probably talk in between them, but like let's do a follow up in like a month or so, and and figure out like month or two, and figure out where you're at, and then keep talking about it.
That sounds good.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah. All right. I am really interested in this because this is the first time I've actually gotten to be hands on with like a older content creator that's like been on the platform for a longer time. And I really want to see where this goes. I know this stuff works because we've like done it, like, but I want to see you like implement it. You're a hard worker, so I think you can do it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you though.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Thank you so much for coming on.